sacrificed their daily lives to camp out for series tickets.
I'm from London, Ontario. I need 2 tickets, please.
Anyone in the city here get 2 tickets, I'll be grateful. Thank you.
And the lucky few who found themselves inside the stadium made the most of it.
Yep, we love the Twins.
They like us, and we like them, and it makes for good games for us.
But that's not to say that those outside the games didn't cheer just as loud.
Oh, boy, Twins! Your parents always tell you to be quiet, and then your friends don't.
From little leaguers to old-timers, the enthusiasm roared.
We're all children at heart. Go, go, go.
Even the elementary students found ways to incorporate baseball into their schoolwork.
Dear Cougars, can anyone play baseball in St. Louis? A loyal Twins fan, Lori Hartsey.
Twins fever has had no boundaries either. Fans as far away as Castleton, North Dakota echoed their support.
We're just a little ways from the Twin Cities. They're part of us, and we're part of them.
Cheer for the Minnesota Twins today.
And perhaps the man who knows the Twins fans best, we're happy to have with us this evening, the infamous Wally the Beer Man. Wally, welcome.
Hey, thanks, Tom. What can I say? Bob Uecker says those fans really love him. I really love the fans.
Wally, you had quite a year. You were written up in Sports Illustrated. You broke that jinx, so you had a good year. The Twins were on the cover of SI twice. They broke that jinx. It's been quite a season, hasn't it?
It's really been great. I'll tell you, I grew up with this team right from the start. And when they see what happened here this weekend, it's unbelievable, and it's really great for the state of Minnesota and the whole upper Midwest.
Now, when you're in the stands selling beer and you're such a big Twins fan, how much of a chance do you get to watch the game?
Well, I usually watch it when I'm going down the steps, not when I'm going up. I check the score, see who's at bat and how we're doing, and how many outs, and who's on base, so we know where we're going and what's going to happen next.
You're handing out Cracker Jack today. You don't have to check IDs, huh?
Well, there's a couple of guys over here I got to check IDs on.
Wally, thanks so much. We're going to send it back to Don and Pat.
All right, Tom.
Thanks, Tom. Thanks, Wally.
And thanks to Wally the Beer Man. He's a famous guy, too, these days. You know, when we were in St. Louis, it was cold there. We wanted to hurry up and win this thing and wrap it up. And I remember I said to Tim Laudner one day in the lobby, Tim, can you just win this thing? And he said, we will, we will. They did.
Tim Laudner, a lot of people figured going into this thing he was everybody's choice for MVP of the World Series. Still gets all my votes. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the man behind the plate and his wife, Tammy, Tim Laudner!
They love you, Tim. How does it feel like you're back in the Metrodome again?
Pretty loud in here.
What's this day been like for you? You get up in the morning, see the papers all over again, perhaps get a chance to see some of the tape of last night's wonderful moments. Does it sink in yet?
Well, in some ways it has, and in some ways it hasn't. Phone was ringing pretty good this morning. Tried to get some things done around the house that have kind of gone unnoticed for the past few weeks, with not much success. I can add to that. I did get the garbage out, but that's about it.
Tammy, I know that the Wives played such a real role, and a major role, and more than blowing whistles. Let's face it, it's tough, and I'm sure that sometimes keeping everyone's spirits up and trying to keep your family life together too at home.
Well, it's kind of tough.
What happened to your voice? I can't imagine why you may have lost it.
Gone.
I don't want to force you to answer anymore because I know it's very difficult. Tim, growing up in Park Center, I mean, we talk about the Minnesota tradition here and what it must mean to grow up in the state and see it finally happen. You grew up watching the Twins, and to be a part of it and play such a major role.
I don't think that there's anything more exciting than that. Like you say, having grown up in this area, seeing what professional sports is like in this area and how people appreciate sports and how most of all, people appreciate winners. And to be able to go out and win and to be world champions means everything. It really does.
I think fans also appreciate determination, and you certainly have symbolized that this year, Tim. And no one will forget that play, the Darrell Evans play at third base in the Detroit series. Oh, what a magical moment. That may have turned the whole series around. I'm going to send it out to one of your fishing buddies, R.J. Fritz out there. R.J.?
All right, Mark, we have someone here, I believe, that would like to ask Tim Loudner a question. Your name, please?
Angie.
Your name is Angie. Do you have a last name?
Albert.
All right, Angie, what's your question of Tim Loudner?
Well, I just have a comment that I'm from Brooklyn Center, and Brooklyn Center is really proud of you for doing really good. And
All right, a Brooklyn Center fan, Tim. You're very proud, and you can be. Let's hear it for Brooklyn Center.
Yeah, all right.
Do you have any other questions for Tim? You can ask Tim some other questions, because people like Steve Lombardozzi and Greg Gagne, those people all work real hard. He takes it easy out there. He doesn't work that hard. Get another question for him?
What was it like being born in Iowa?
What was it like being born in Iowa?
We want very detailed description here, Tim.
Well, believe it or not, it was kind of a normal childhood. I know it's hard to believe as I sit here.
Tim, someone else wanted to know if you hit over 190 at Brooklyn Center. This is the best 190 hitter in all of baseball, too, I want you to know, ladies and gentlemen. Tim, congratulations on an excellent season. Thank you.
Tim, I know this really is an emotional time, and you're going to get one more big celebration with the parade tomorrow.
I don't even know what to expect for that. It's going to be just incredible. I would have thought that the most exciting moment in my career was when we got back from Detroit, when they opened up the door in the Metrodome and we walked out on the field, and it's like we walked into heaven. I don't know what tomorrow's going to be like. I can't even comprehend that.
It'll be another little piece of heaven. Tim and Tammy, congratulations. I hope you get your voice back in a couple of days. Tim Loudner, catcher for the Minnesota Twins. Don and Pat, back to you.
Two neat people, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be back in just a moment. You stay with us.
On behalf of all of us at Midwest Federal, I'd like to congratulate the Minnesota Twins on your World Series championship. It's been a great year, and we are proud to have sponsored the play-by-play action on radio and television for the 18th consecutive season. The Twins have brought worldwide recognition to our area, and all the celebrating that's going on right now is well-deserved. So fans, join me in congratulating the Minnesota Twins. We salute you as the new world champions of 1987.
I'll get it, Alex.
Mel's Market. Here's your order.
What order?
Side of beef.
I didn't order.
Here's your delivery, sir.
What delivery?
Your Stroh's 30 packs.
Stroh's. Alex?
Nah. Stroh's and Stroh Light. Fire brewed for smooth, consistent taste. And with 30 packs, you get more beer.
Pardon? Gerstedt shop. Here's your poodle.
Oh. Alex.
When you need some tires for 1995, said, who you gonna call?
Tires Plus Stores!
When you want a choice, we got 5 famous brands. Who you gonna call?
Tires Plus Stores!
Like 35% off Bridgestone radios. So who you gonna call?
Tires Plus
Who you gonna call?
Tires
Who you gonna call?
Premature birth. It can break your heart. That's why 2 years ago, Group Health started the first preterm birth program in Minnesota. And it works. Today, Group Health's premature birth rate is nearly 50% lower than the state average. Healthier babies, healthier mothers. Just what you'd expect from Group Health. Group Health, quality health care for life.
Welcome back to Southdale, where we are celebrating the 1987 World Champion Minnesota Twins. As you can probably hear in the background, the roar is already starting to swell. Everyone has their favorite moment in the World Series. I think every Twins fan, not only here in Minnesota, but the five-state area and around the country, who grew up watching the Twins, really had a special feeling, a very special feeling indeed, on Saturday when the Twins' first baseman hit a grand slam home run to help beat the St. Louis Cardinals, Kent Hrbek.
How's this sound compared to the Dome?
Pretty close.
Pretty good.
Pretty close.
And you know what? He loves you guys, too. Can't tell us because we're never going to have the opportunity to know what it was like. But to hit a grand slam in a World Series, to save a 6th game and take it into 7, what does that do to a person?
It's hard to explain. I think I told a lot of people when I ran around the bases that night that there was a lot of emotions let out for myself. I was struggling a little bit. I was happy for the people. I was happy for the team. I knew it gave us a big enough lead to where we were going to win that ball game and take us to the 7th game. And I said it a million times. I wish I could have ran around twice. Really, I wish I could have just kept running around until the game was over. But it was fun.
What were you thinking about as you were running around? I mean,
I was making sure I was going to touch all the bases, first of all. I didn't want to miss any of the bases. And I don't know, just think about everything that when you go out there and you start playing Little League baseball and you make it to the major leagues, and here you are dreaming, and you're actually fulfilling a dream is what really it comes all about.
1982, when you came up with that freshman squad, 102 losses in that season. Be truthful with us. Did you think it would be possible in 5 years to be the world champions?
I thought it would be possible. We just had to do some bits and pieces into the puzzle. We had a good nucleus. Gary Gaetti just hasn't got any kind of recognition that he should have gotten until the last couple of years. He was a heck of a ball player. Tommy Berdansky, heck of a ball player. Frank Viola, who now was the MVP of the series, was a heck of a pitcher then. We just needed to add some pieces to the puzzle, and we finally did it with Andy MacPhail and Tom Kelly and Carl Pohlad. Put the pieces together, and look what we got.
All right, now, Jeannie, you sit and watch as the big guy goes around the plate. You watched him struggle earlier in the year. He was consistently getting important hits during the series and in the playoffs, but not hitting like the Kent Hrbek that he wanted to hit like. And then all of a sudden, kaboom, out over the center field fence, 439 feet. What are you thinking when he's going around the bases?
I was in tears. My voice is gone, first of all.
You can't talk either? Don't try.
But first of all, I didn't see him go around the bases because I was just hugging everybody in the crowd. Found out who I was real quick because everybody was hugging me, and it was just a thrill. It really was. I couldn't believe it.
There is still no way to explain, I suppose, just what kind of thrill that is to I guess there is nothing to compare it to in the United States. No accomplishment like a grand slam home run in a World Series.
I don't think there is. Maybe the ride tomorrow around Minneapolis and St. Paul area will be, that's something I've always wanted to do. Of course, win the World Series, but I've always liked them Twinkies Parades, and I think tomorrow it'll be fun.
Yeah. Hey, we've got some questions from some of your fans out in the audience. Tom Hanneman.
A lot of people have a lot of questions. This young lady, your name?
Stacy Olsen.
Stacy, what's your question for Herbie?
Was it as fun as they said it would be?
Well, I tell you what, it probably wouldn't have been as fun if you guys went out there and helped us out. I think the fun part about it, the first thing that I looked at in the paper on Sunday morning after I'd hit my grand slam was a decibel meter. I wanted to see how hard you guys screamed for me. That was the first thing I looked at. And you guys broke the thing apart last night, and that was great.
Tom's got another question out there. Tom?
One more. Your name, please?
Chris Hawkins.
Chris, what is your question?
I just wondered if you got any sleep last night.
I got some sleep. I wasn't in the greatest shape, but I got some sleep. I actually went out for breakfast this morning about 3:30 with my sister, her boyfriend, and a friend of mine, and my wife, and we ended up eating at Perkins, believe it or not. A little plug for Perkins there.
Yeah.
Eat where Ken Herbeck eats. No. And had us some breakfast, went back home, and at 5 o'clock in the morning, me and my wife were sitting in front of the TV watching the replay of the ball game. And having all kinds of fun. Finally got to sleep, woke up at 1:30 today.
Kent, I wanted to ask you a quick question, about the national media. I'm over here. How you doing, Kent? Just in terms of the recognition, it seems like you guys always had to prove yourself all over again. No one expects you to win the West, and you had to do it again when you played Detroit and again with St. Louis. Is it finally here? Are you sick and tired of having to convince everyone that you guys are the best?
I think that's one thing that made us play even harder, was all the people in the United States are talking about this team can't win, and they only won 85 games or what have you. We went out there and stuck it to them, and you folks stuck it to it with them. All right. Thank you.
Can we just say, before we leave, thanks very much for coming.
More players, plus a look at the media frenzy of covering the World Series next on the Champions, a Twins celebration.
Pull right! Working as a team like this reminds me of United Mortgage. Working with home buyers to pull together the best possible home loan. Pull rides! And because they're the home lending subsidiary of Midwest Federal, you benefit from almost a century of experience. Pull rides? Yeah, Charlie. You know you can rely on their strength and stability. Last time I'm going to help you move, Rod. I think this is a nice place.
Let United Mortgage pull the right home loan together for you. Call them today.
Pull rides!
Yes, Mrs. Ferber. I'll be right over.
What's up?
It's Alex. He's been burying things in Mrs. Ferber's garden again.
Right here.
Alex, a bottle of Stroh's.
Keep digging.
Nice, Alex. 15-pack.
Keep digging.
With Stroh's and Stroh Light 15 and 30 packs, you get more beer.
How did he get a whole truck down there?
Why don't we ask the driver?
Ever since your post office invented express mail overnight delivery, others have tried to copy our eagle, but it's not so easy. You see, express mail overnight reliability is close to perfect, with the most convenient locations and prices as low as $10.75. About half what most others charge. So we're pretty hard to imitate. So use the original express mail service from your post office.
Welcome back to our very special Twins Celebration live coverage from Southdale. Now, if I learned one thing in the World Series this year, it was how to conduct an interview while being doused with beer and champagne. That, of course, is part of live television. Let's take a look at what me and my colleagues went through over the last few weeks.
We're going to play in the 6th game of the World Series. What could be any better than that, So I don't see where there'd be a problem with spirit. Chance of a lifetime.
Are you growing sick of all this? You don't seem to really enjoy yourself.
I guess that's true.
That's all.
Tom Kelly, one of the most important cogs in settling this
And he
wonderful
takes
game.
it one day at a time.
That's right.
Hey, when you think about the Twins players, who has the $1 million smile?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome one of the most important newcomers to the Minnesota Twins. Ladies and gentlemen, all around, nice guy, all around, all American, all world, Al Newman. Come on.
Al and Sophie Newman. First of all, I'm going to start with Sophie. Do you have your voice?
Yes, I do.
Oh, we have it first. What was it like for you last night watching your husband? You got a chance to be on the field at the end of the game and experiencing it from the stands, Sophie.
Well, we were just out there dancing and blowing our whistles and waving our hankies. It was just awesome.
Did you ever think this was going to happen? You guys came from Montreal, of course, along with Jeff Reardon.
No, I had no idea. Not at all. It was...
Al, I had a chance to talk to you on the field last night, and you said, hey, this is great. I got to be on the field when we got the last out. Last couple of times you clinched in Texas, and then again in Detroit. You were out there with the water, throwing it on the guys. I'm sure it was a lot more fun being out there on the field.
It definitely is. I did think about the water cooler. I wanted to know who was going to throw it so I could look out for him. But at that time, my heart was just pounding, and I couldn't believe we were on the verge of winning a World Series championship.
Al, I think in a lot of ways you too symbolize what this Twins team is all about. Everyone doing their job. No prima donnas, no superstars. You guys, everyone contributed. And I think for someone who doesn't play every day, that must really give you a special feeling.
It really does. When you come in and you're going to play for an everyday player, it's a good feeling to know that they don't hold you responsible for what's happening. And it's just a great feeling. It's really hard to explain, but I can tell you one thing. All those hugs you saw on the field were genuine. All the guys really care for each other, and it's a great feeling. And I really think that's why we're number one.
Everyone does have their special moments, and I think probably a couple guys have mentioned coming back from Detroit after that long plane ride, albeit a very happy one, was really something when you guys opened the door and all those people were waiting for you, Sophie.
Yeah, it was a big surprise. I mean, at 3 o'clock in the morning.
It really was remarkable. R.J. Fritz has a couple of questions. Wait. Al has got one other thing to say.
I just want to remind everybody, and now the whole world knows, that we're the Minnesota Twins, not the Minnesota Twinkies.
Well said there, Al Newman. Very well said. The Twins, no longer the Twinkies. We have a couple of questions from a couple of young guys here. Your name, sir?
Brad Westrom.
Brad, what's your question of Al Newman?
Where did you and Kirby ever come up with a shake like you did at the end of the game?
I tell you, last year, when I was with the Montreal Expos, myself and Tim Raines, we had a little handshake that we did as a ritual. And when I came over with Kirby, and during the course of his season, he did so many exciting things, I just figured there was some way that we can exclamation, say, hey, that's great. And that's how we came up with it.
All right, and that is great. Thank you. We have a lady back here. Come on now, don't be bashful. This is no time to be bashful. This lady has what I think might be the most interesting question. She wants to know, and I'll tell her if she won't, she wants to know if she can rub your hair, the top of your hair. Can she do that? Come on down.
I've heard it all now. Are you ready for this, Al?
Now, see what a tradition you've started now, Al.
I just don't want her to hurt her hand.
Do we have any other questions of Al Newman? Here's one right here. Here's a question. What's your name?
Carrie.
Jerry? What's your question of Al?
Well, did you have any doubts about winning when you were in St. Louis?
I tell you what, as I spoke with a number of guys on the team, we've been on the road before, and we lost 3 in a row before, and we've always come home and recovered, so I was counting on that.
Okay, we have one other one here. Come on down. Your name?
Barb.
Barb, what's your question?
I'd like to know, I have actually a statement, that Richfield Junior High School loves you, and we'd like to cheer. We were cheering on the Twins all day in school.
All right, let's hear it for Richfield and Al Newman. Thanks a lot, Al. We're going to go back to Don and Pat.
Thanks, Al. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Sophie and Al Newman, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you. Congratulations, Al. Thank you for coming.
We'll be back with more Twins, the champions, after these messages.
Grow with us, the good tree to come to, for strength and stability. Save with us, plan with us, we're all you need us to be.
So come talk with us, dream with us, we're growing your way.
And build for tomorrow, today. Midwest Federal. Grow with us.
I'll get it, Alex.
Mel's Market. Here's your order.
What order?
Side of beef.
I didn't order.
Here's your delivery,
side.
sir.
What delivery?
Your Stroh's 30 packs.
Stroh's. Alex?
Nah. Stroh's and Stroh Light. Fire brewed for smooth, consistent taste. And with 30 packs, you get more beer.
Pardon? Guess that shop. Here's your poodle.
Oh. Alex.
If your family craves meat, give them new Buddig lean slices at feeding time. There's honey-smoked, lower salt, and original cure ham, all 98% fat-free, and naturally lean or smoked turkey breast. They make a mighty meaty sandwich.
How about lunch, Guy?
New Buddig lean slices for people who are wild about meat.
When you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. Anything your heart desires will come to you.
Frank Viola, you and the Twins just won the World Series. What are you going to do next? We're going to Disney World.
We want to welcome you back to our Twins Champions program. Now, a lot of people will tell you there's more than one most valuable player on the Twins team. We all know Frank Viola, but Andy MacPhail is also a most valuable player and has been all year long.
You bet. Andy MacPhail comes from a long, long line of greats in baseball, and he is certainly going to rank right up there with all of his ancestors. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome one certainly most valuable player on the Twins, Andy MacPhail and his wife, Lark.
You breathing a little easier today, Andy?
There's already a guy over here wanting me to sign Jack Morris, so right after the 87 season's over, they're worried about 88.
Yeah, he's up in the stands. Jack, you ready? Come on down. Well, you know, actually, that's where it all started. I mean, talking about being in the fire right away, I remember your quote was, I'm like a household word, like a toilet. After you didn't sign Jack Morris, you took the heat. You decided not to sign him. It may happen again. Who knows? But the important acquisitions you made after that, Andy, certainly were the cornerstone of this club this year, along with the nucleus, of course, we've had returning.
Well, we're very fortunate, Mark. As you know, it's not just one person. I'm a little embarrassed about all the attention, but we have a front office that works very hard. Bob Gebhardt, Terry Ryan, Jim Rance, Billy Smith, a lot of quality scouts, and that's really all I do is read information. I think they deserve a lot of credit.
Clark, what was it like for you watching from the stands? It's Game 7 of the World Series, all coming down to how the Twins were going to play at home last night.
I'm happy to be here and not sitting in the stands because it was very nerve-wracking.
Everyone says it was nerve-wracking, Andy. You think of the contributions that this club had. You mentioned the front office. Everyone down the line, you think of guys like Jimmy Wiesner, the clubhouse man, who's been around here from the start. I think that's why the Twins fans are probably enjoying this all so much, because we've been through it all here before.
Well, I think you really hit the nail on the head. The Minnesota Twins fans were probably the biggest motivation the players had. They were trying to find a way to repay the fans. When that gate opened after we won the American League Championship, we were really surprised at the amount of attention we got, the amount of effort that the fans made to come out and welcome us. And There was no way for them to express that through words, and I think that's why they wanted to bring the World's Championship to Minnesota.
You're sick and tired of answering questions for the media. Let's go to the real fans out there. Tom Hanneman. Tom?
I've got a real fan here. Your name, sir?
Tim.
And your question?
I'd like to know if it's really hard to have these guys play with you all year long and then go into arbitration and have to slice them up.
Taking away from the fun already, huh?
Wait a minute. I just got saying it was easier to talk to the fans, Andy. You got some tough questions out there.
I got to be careful with this one because we've got Herbeck and Loudner and Newman and Lombardozzi listening down there. But no, it's pretty much. I think we had to pay a lot of money last year when we weren't. We were 20 games under 500 in 6th place, and I think Carl Pohlad and myself would much rather pay off on a season like this. They've deserved it.
Absolutely. Big parade tomorrow, Andy Lark, and I have the best of luck tomorrow. It should be a great time. Congratulations on an outstanding season.
Thank you, Mark. Appreciate it.
Andy McPhail and Lark, there's your executive of the year right here. I'll tell you what.
Thanks very much. We're lucky.
Thanks to all of these people who came tonight.
Pat, you got the...
Thank you. Andy McPhail,
nice
Mark McPhail.
The celebration is not over. Tomorrow there's a big parade, as you very well know. If you're not going to be there in person, we're going to be broadcasting the parade on WCCO, and of course WCCO radio will carry it as well. But let me just tell you where it starts in case you can be there. It begins at 12th and Marquette in downtown Minneapolis. It then proceeds down Marquette to 5th Street, follows to 4th Avenue. The procession then turns on to 6th Street. Are you writing this down? At the Metrodome. Disbands, and the motorcade heads east on I-94 to downtown St. Paul. Then at 12:45 tomorrow, the parade reforms at the Civic Center, proceeds down Kellogg Boulevard to Wabasha, left on Wabasha, past the WCCO Bureau to 10th Street, takes a right turn to Cedar Avenue, then left to Constitution Avenue, where it makes its way to the Capitol for a rally scheduled to start at 1:30 tomorrow afternoon.
We invite all of you, too, on your way home tonight, turn to WCCO Radio AM 830 for more special Twins coverage tonight. Thank you very much for being here. Minnesota Twins, 87 world champions. Minnesota world champions, 1988.
The Champions, a Twins celebration. Brought to you in part by Stroh's and Stroh's Light. Now you're talking...
The kids to school, then those kids could get out for the parade. They are all here to celebrate this championship team. What a team it's been. A once-in-a-lifetime experience for everyone.
All right. Well, now, you know, their big rally is going to take place at the state capitol. That'll be about 2 o'clock when they finally get there. But this morning, as people headed into downtown, folks began preparing for today's victory parade. At Jukebox Saturday night, they handed out shredded paper. We got some, and confetti to the passerbys. Balloons enough to flood the players when they arrive at the Capitol were blown up by volunteers there. At sunrise today, they were up and at 'em. And preparations for the largest celebration of its kind in recent Minnesota history have been taking place, well, since they won the game, as you know.
If you don't think it's going to be an exciting sort of scene out there, I'd be out there maybe collecting some of the confetti for myself. You know, not only will it be this kind of confetti, the Federal Reserve of Minneapolis and its district has given out a whole bunch of money. Unfortunately, it's been shredded up for confetti, but they're going to throw that out the window.
And this has come, I think, from business offices all over. In fact, the one I picked up said income tax on it, so that
Sure, and I can tell you that if you didn't hear him say it himself last night, Kent Herbig said it will be the most impressive thing of his career to be in a ticker tape parade.
Well,
you can feel like an astronaut or
This
something.
has been his dream. He said the one thing that when he was asked before the season began, what would be your goal? He said, my goal would be to ride in a parade after we won the World Series in my hometown. And it's coming true today, as you very well know.
Sure, and he says, and a lot of them were talking about riding in open-top convertibles, and they may wish, they have second thoughts about that today because that wind is blowing pretty briskly out there, but enough to keep the confetti flying in between the areas. There is the start of the parade now. We're showing you just at the corner of 12th and Marquette in downtown Minneapolis as this parade with a caravan of police cars move down Marquette in northerly direction. It will go up Marquette until it gets to 5th Street. There it will turn right, even though that's one way left. It will turn right, proceed down to the Dome, to 4th Avenue, turn right there behind the Dome, to 6th Street. And then from there, it will go on to Highway Interstate 94 to St. Paul. The parade then will reconstitute itself down around Wabasha and Kellogg, head down Wabasha to 10th Street, right proceeded, and straight to the Capitol where a big rally will happen at 1:30. Look at that crowd.
Well, you can tell that some of the players are beginning to go by, but now included in this parade will not just be the players and their wives, but also the coaches and their wives will be riding along as well. And then they also have an official bus, I think, that they've designated. It will be Carl Polat, of course, the owner. We expect to see Howard Fox. I'm wondering, because we haven't heard if Calvin Griffith will be riding along as well in today's parade. Now, you talked about the cold weather, Don, but you have to imagine that these players are not going to even notice that the weather's cold out there. Because at this point, I mean, do you think they really care if they get a little cold in a parade to celebrate the World Series champion?
I'll tell you what, they played some pretty cold weather in Detroit and in St. Louis. So
did they ever? St. Louis
especially. They can stand playing ball in that. They can stand riding in a parade.
Well, they got cold, obviously. I mean, you can remember, and I'm sure if you watch the games, the scenes of the pitchers especially blowing warm air into their hands during the games. It was cold, and there was a wind chill. And you have to be honest about it. I think it was as cold in St. Louis as it's ever been here during this time of year.
Oh, I think so, at least because the winds were so high. You know what I see here? You see all those Homer Hankies? I wonder if the Homer Hankies will ever go away. I bet at every spectacular event that happens, I bet it even bleeds over into the Vikings and into the kick. I mean, I said the kicks, the strikers. All of our athletic people. I bet those Homer Hankies start to appear in those crowds. What do you think?
I'm going to frame my Homer Hanky. I saved one that I'm going to put. I'm going to put it in the frame and hang it in the house.
Let's try to get a good look at what's happening here. This is a flatbed truck coming up through with a lot of the cameras here in the front. The cameras we have are positioned right on top.
That's Tom Kelly.
Yeah,
there he
TK.
goes, the coach. Riding by himself in a convertible and throwing confetti out of his car. He's going to be drowned in confetti. They're going by fairly quickly.
And don't be upset because if you can't get a good look at the players and the wives and the managers and the clubhouse staff in this location, because we have 10 cameras situated throughout the area, some with better vantage points than others. And as we move down toward 7th and Marquette, we're going to get some pretty good views.
We're just giving you a look right now from atop our own building of what the crowds look like. We intend to get those individual shots of the players as they come around the curve there. But you can almost tell by some of the shapes, it looks like Ken Herbig has already been by, and of course Tom Kelly, right? some of the coats we even recognize from St. Louis. So. And look at the crowd. Boy, isn't that amazing?
I would imagine that if you had to compare crowd sizes, not only, is that Roy Smalley there?
Looks like Roy Smalley. And his wife, Chris.
Yes. That the crowd size will be comparable not only to the Aquatennial, certainly larger than the Aquatennial, but the combination of Aquatennial and the Carnival and perhaps the St. Patrick's Day
Well, I know we were
parades as
here.
well.
We were here early this morning, even driving into downtown at 9:30, 10 o'clock this morning. It was crowded. But there's Gary Gaetti. It was hard to find a place to park, and his wife Debbie. Now you know he grew up only just outside of St. Louis, so that was a tough stint for him there in his home state.
How far is Centralia, Illinois from?
Well, I think it's about 60 miles away from St. Louis. But he was, as you know, a big Cardinals fan for most of the years when he was growing up as a young boy.
Tim Laudner went to school down there in Missouri.
Went to Columbia.
And said he wasn't a Cardinal fan, said he didn't have any time because he was too busy trying to learn how to play baseball.
Played baseball on a scholarship for the University of Missouri there. Tough to get a look at that individual who's bundled up and also has a hat on.
Well, I tell you what, if it's a police officer's hat, it could be Tom Brunelsky.
Could be. I heard he had one in his locker the other day. Well, they're estimating what? How many thousands of people will show up for today's
Well, I don't
parade
think it
between
matters.
Minneapolis and St. Paul.
I don't think it matters. I think they're going to be wrong, whatever they estimated. We've heard estimates, unofficial estimates from some of our own staff who've been around here for years. Stan Wolfson said 1 million people expected. We can always trust
You know,
him.
that almost has to be Juan Berenguer with that hat on. He's famous for his hats that he wears. And he wears them not only in parades and after the celebrations, he wears them all the time. We saw him in his hat in St. Louis. And that looks like Schatzeder. Yeah, Dan Schatzeder and his wife. Nice lady. Nancy Schatzeder. These are the what they call the 10th player on the Twins team, all of the fans today who are celebrating with this special World Series parade as the Twins drive by. Boy, do they love these guys, huh?
Al and Sophia Newman.
We haven't had word yet on where they got the convertibles for today's parade, but I'm sure there were a lot of people, a lot of dealerships who volunteered.
Standing in line to get out those convertibles. I bet some of the guys wish they could keep them. Now we change our, now just get an idea. This is a ticker tape parade and a toilet paper parade too, which has become another symbol of the Dome and our victories and great plays. Sort of the 1980s streamer, if you will.
They talked about a lot of the old buildings in downtown Minneapolis and St. Paul. Buildings like the Fauché Tower where the windows at the top haven't been opened in 50 years. And they encourage those people today to open those windows, unbolt them for the first time in who knows how long, and throw some confetti out of the windows, and they're doing it.
People standing in the middle of Marquette there.
There you go.
Unbeknownst to them, just a few blocks away, only about 1 block away now from the shot that we had where all those people were amassed in the midst of Marquette there, as you see. They'll be moved back by what might serve as sort of the old version of the cow catcher on the old locomotives. What is that?
This is a busload full of dignitaries, and it looks as if, although I can't really see that clearly, it looks as if Carl Pohlad may be aboard that vehicle. That looks like Harvey McKay. There's George Latimer, as you can see, the mayor of St. Paul. Looks to be Harvey McKay in the red coat. I'm going to have to get glasses, I think, though. Either that or we're going to have to get a bigger screen. These are all of the dignitaries. These are all of the people who at the games were sitting in the front row, in case you didn't notice.
They had the expensive seats.
They had the good seats because these are the people who made it happen through the years. I'm sure Carl Pohlad and his wife Eloise are on board. Howard Fox.
Jerry Bell. I wonder if Andy McPhail was in one of those first.
I'm sure he is. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and we will be back in just a moment, so stay with us for the World Champions of Twins celebration.
On behalf of all of us at Midwest Federal, I'd like to congratulate the Minnesota Twins on your World Series championship. It's been a great year, and we are proud to have sponsored the play-by-play action on radio and television for the 18th consecutive season. The Twins have brought worldwide recognition to our area, and all the celebrating that's going on right now is well-deserved. So fans, join me in congratulating the Minnesota Twins. We salute you as the new world champions of 1987.
Won the World Series. What are you going to do next?
We're going to Disney World.
This is the start of an eye exam 2000, the computerized vision test. Just one of 20 tests and checks that give you a complete vision evaluation, plus a complete eye checkup, including glaucoma and cataract tests.
Thoroughness is Eye Exam 2000.
Eye Exam 2000. Inside LensCrafters, Burnsville Center, Southdale Center, Loman's Plaza, and now in Crystal Shopping Center, next to Target.
This celebration is honoring not only the Twins are honoring the, as they call the 10th or the 25th player on the field, on the roster, all of the fans, an opportunity now to turn out, and I think Governor Perpich realized just how important the Twins' victory was in the World Series, because he said it will be immeasurable what this win does for not only the state of Minnesota in terms of the economics, but certainly in terms of the spirit.
Absolutely. Let's go back out to the parade site where Tom Hanneman and Colleen Needles are standing by.
Well, Colleen, Frank Viola in the commercial we just saw a minute ago said he's going to Disney World. He's in Disney World right now, and believe me, this is unbelievable behind us. A blizzard of confetti, and the emotions and the feelings already, and they're still a few blocks away.
I know, this is the type of thing that Minnesota does so well, a spontaneous rally like this, a ticker tape parade. This is indeed incredible. As you said, there are people hanging out of every window down here downtown. The workmen who are working on the Norwest Tower are standing on the scaffolding, and the people here can tell that it's started. The parade's about 2 blocks away from us right now, and they are getting excited. The confetti is flying.
You're wondering about the crowd estimate here. It's very simple. The population of Minneapolis and St. Paul, that's the crowd for you. Mike Walsher is in the midst of all this confetti and fans. And Michael, can you hear us? We'll send it out to you.
Okay, thank you, Tom. This is not a sea of humanity. This is an ocean of humanity. It is bumper-to-bumper people out here in the middle of Marquette Avenue, and still the parade is quite a ways down. We'll talk to some of the...
Oh, we've been out here about 4 or 5 hours since this morning.
You getting cold?
No, not now.
Why is that?
Oh, look at all these people out here. All these bodies just filling you up. This fever.
Did you ever think you'd see something like this in Minnesota?
No, never. Born and raised in Minnesota. All our lives, we've always had second place. From Fritz Mondale to the Vikings, and now we're on top. We're the champs.
All right. We've got a lot of people, families here. Hey, excuse me. Let me talk to this lady over here. Excuse me. You brought baseball fan? Yeah. Mean to you?
Oh, there'll be never nothing like this before. Wait. Never be nothing like this again.
Okay, very good. The confetti is already falling down. Hey, save some of that for the Twins, will you? We'll turn it back now to Colleen.
Okay.
What a job.
That is incredible. That's hard work. I got to tell you, we were looking at and talking to some policemen just a little earlier, and they were shrugging their shoulders when they looked at this crowd like, we don't know what to do. How do you keep... this is a great crowd, though.
Oh, well, we're not going to see any violence today. You can guess it. We're going to see a lot of love and affection. And the person right now who may have the best view is Debbie Ely in the Live Eye in the Sky. Debbie?
Tom, we've been having a good time up here watching this crowd of people. The crowd has actually mobbed the cars as they're going by, and you can really see that from the helicopter here. We've also enjoyed, gotten into the spirit of things. We got a bag of confetti before we took off, and we've been dropping confetti from the helicopter here. I got special permission from the FAA to do so. The crowd has enveloped these cars, as you can see, and the cars seem to be moving at a very slow pace. I know the police had told me earlier that if the crowd got too out of hand and tried to mob these vehicles, that they would try to pick up the pace and move them out of the downtown area a little bit quicker. But it seems that the cars are actually moving slower than perhaps the police had hoped, but the crowd is certainly getting a good view of them. Back to you.
Yes or no? Hardwired good.
There you can see, I've never seen that many people except for the night that they won the series, and even then maybe there weren't as many people.
No, I didn't see that.
There was only room for a little over 55,000 people in the Metrodome, and this has got to be a much larger crowd than that. If there is one thing in Minnesota that we know how to do, it is put on a parade.
That's absolutely true.
So it is an absolute fitting into this whole celebration that we are having a parade through the two downtowns of Minneapolis and St. Paul. How terrific.
They are literally, not often do we get away with saying the word literally, they are swamped out there by people.
Well, you wonder how the cars are even going to get through the streets there. It does look, well, this is going to be something that in 30, 40 years we're going to sit back and tell our kids about because they're not going to remember this.
No, that is presuming that we don't make a habit out of winning the World Series. You wonder whether we come back next year and win the World Series, will it mean the same? I'm going to say I don't think so.
There have been very few teams that have ever done it. I can't think of...
the Yankees used to do it, and the Dodgers used to do it, but not in the modern World Series. Not I don't think since the 70s there's been many repeaters.
Well, we were the 10th team in the 10th year to win. I mean, it's the 10th different team to win. So there has been a different team for the last 10 years. And, well, maybe we'll break another tradition next year. You never know.
Yes, and but I think you hit upon it when we were broadcasting from the Metrodome tonight that the victory was clinched for the World Championship. It means a great deal more than just the World Series. Because I'll guarantee you that about 1 out of 10 of those people out there right now are inveterate baseball fans. The rest of them are people who love the state and love what the Twins have done for this state and love the idea that they're part of a winning team and that the eyes of the nation are turned on their hometowns and on their home state right now. This does mean much more than a baseball victory.
Well, this is all people have been living for, and this is a happening that is going on in Minneapolis, St. Paul today. This is a happening the likes of which we've never seen before and may never see again. So if it's not a time to drink all of this in, there never will be.
You know, you have to remember, and this is certainly not to put a damper on anything, but to bring some perspective, there were times when you couldn't find 6,000 people in the Metrodome, when times were tough for the Twins. And because of Carl Pohlad and Andy MacPhail, and because of some of the acquisitions and some of the great fans, you see now the kind of turnout that results from bringing a winning team to the state.
So other teams take note. Well, as you are looking at the fans, these are the people that have been called the 10th player. They are the loudest in the country. They have that reputation now, and what the fans have offered all year for the Twins is inspiration. Here's what I'm talking about.
When our boys came home from clinching the American League title, it was an event to remember.
We're back. We're bringing it home.
The Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome held a capacity crowd captive without a game in sight. Fans came in droves merely to thank the team in person.
Everybody waiting to get home. We figure we have about 15,000 people here, and we got 60-some with another couple thousand outside. It's unbelievable.
This was the beginning of what was to become the epitome of baseball fever.
I'm overwhelmed.
Fans were willing to stand in mile-long lines to get a piece of Twins history, and they sacrificed their daily lives to camp out for series tickets.
I'm from London, Ontario. I need 2 tickets, please.
Anyone in the city here, get 2 tickets, I'll be grateful. Thank you.
And the lucky few who found themselves inside the stadium made the most of it.
Yep, we love the Twins.
They like us, and we like them, and it makes for good games for us.
But that's not to say that those outside the games didn't cheer just as loud.
All right, Twins! Your parents always tell you to be quiet, and then your friends don't.
From little leaguers to old-timers, the enthusiasm roared.
We're all children at heart.
Go, go, go.
Even the elementary students found ways to incorporate baseball into their schoolwork.
Dear Cougars, can anyone play baseball in St. Louis? A loyal Twins fan, Lori Hartsey.
Twins fever has had no boundaries either. Fans as far away as Castleton, North Dakota echoed their support.
We're just a little ways from the Twin Cities. They're part of us, and we're part of them.
Cheer for the Minnesota Twins today.
Look at that. That is a live picture shooting straight down Marquette from north to south as that caravan of police cars. You can't even see the Twins. The Twins are lost.
I'm waiting to watch. Debbie Ely, have you got a better shot in the chopper?
Yeah, we do. It is beautiful. We're watching a building next to the IDS where the workers are just shoveling off pieces of confetti. It looks like snow falling down on the parade right now as it's going past. You can see that from your television screen there. The crowd, as I said, continues to envelop the Twins as they go past here. It's interesting to look at the areas where the parade has passed, and you can just see the ground covered in white confetti that people have thrown out upon the Twins as they've gone past there. The parade seems to be, as I mentioned earlier, moving much slower than...
Well, don't get angry with us if you couldn't see the players' faces. We thought having our cameras on the street would be good enough, but apparently we needed to put some of them in the car.
You know, this thing was...
You can't even get close.
No, you can't. And I sort of feel sort of bad for the people who spent... who were here 2 and 3 hours early, who are here in town, in Minneapolis, will not even be able to see the players. And I bet there's a group of people who have decided maybe to move off to St. Paul to see if they can get a better vantage point from there.
You almost need to be up. We're going to go to Tom and Colleen, who are standing a little bit above the crowd.
Just barely. We just saw about 20, 30 state troopers come back through the crowd to clear the people away, and as they passed, the people just kind of closed in behind them, so it didn't work very well.
It's a hopeless cause. You're not going to keep these fans away from the Twins. You know, the people in St. Paul love the Twins just as much as the people here in Minneapolis, but I'll tell you, folks, it's going to be a while. This is a 2-hour parade plan. We may be here all day. It's going slow. People are engulfing the motorcade and showing a great outpouring of love and affection. So if you're watching in St. Paul and you're sad because you didn't have time to make it the parade, you got a lot of time to get out to St. Paul. Yeah. It may be a little while.
It's going to take forever just to get to the point we are. They're still about 2 blocks away. I think when we last talked to you, that's how far away they were. The crowd has surrounded the cars. I don't think they're really able to make too much progress yet through the crowd. I'm not sure what's going to happen when they get down to this point because there are just as many people.
We're only 6 blocks into the parade as well, so a lot of confetti, a lot of fun. We're having a good time down in Pat. Back to you.
Well, you might think that the fans would get cold standing out there, but they are so crowded and so close together, they're keeping each other warm. We're going to take a break. We'll be back in just a moment.
Grow with us, the good tree to come to, for strength and stability. Save with us, plan with us, we're all you need us to be. So come talk with us, dream with us, we're growing your way. And build for tomorrow, today. Midwest Federal, grow with us.
You've noticed it before. Something missing in your margarine. Taste, flavor, richness. Now Land O'Lakes has found what you've been missing. The taste of sweet cream. In new Land O'Lakes bread with sweet cream. Just enough sweet cream to make it sweet. Creamy, buttery, yet it has almost no cholesterol. New Land O'Lakes bread with sweet cream. The taste you've been missing.
Sometimes the price of a good time is heartburn. Fortunately, Gaviscon works like no other leading antacid to form a soothing barrier between you and heartburn. So if it works like a dream at night, just imagine how it works during the day.
I've heard a lot of talk about calcium lately, but I just found out that doctors using Oscal showed that supplements can provide the calcium your body needs to help maintain strong bones.
Oscal, scientifically proven, doctor recommended.
This is Don Shelby, Pat Miles. We're back in the bleachers, which have been the headquarters for our coverage of the Twins throughout the year. We're here for the parade, and Tom and Colleen in the midst of it around 7th and Marquette. Tom, Colleen?
Isn't that fabulous? The police cars are just now going by where we're standing. We assume the players are somewhere behind them. We can't see to tell for sure.
It was crowded before, but now that they've made an alley here on Marquette Avenue, it is absolutely packed, jam-packed. The tempo is upbeat even more so than it was 2 minutes ago because the Twins are on their way. And within a few seconds, we hope to be talking or looking at them. Mike Walsher, can you hear us?
Yes, I can indeed, Tom and Pauline. Carl Pohlad and the beginning of the motorcade just about to pass here at 6th and Marquette. The confetti is snowing down upon us. They have cleared out enough of a route for people to drive this motorcade through. I'm going to do my best to lean out here and try to talk to some of the Twins, to Carl Pohlad. Here's the scene.
Where are you going to go?
It is bumper to bumper people out here. There must be 50 or 60 deep. And here comes manager Tom Kelly. There's not a lot to describe this scene. We'll simply let the pictures tell you. Don Baylor coming up now. The police have locked their arms here to hold people back from jumping out in the way of the vehicles. Juan Berenguer. People are reaching out to do high fives with members of the Twins as they go by in their motorcade. And the confetti just rains down from the buildings here at 6th and Marquette. Here's Bert Blyleven. And Tom Brunansky. Randy Bush. There's so much confetti, they're having to move it out from some of the cars. It's like snow. An officer up there having to move the confetti out because the car is sliding on it as on ice. Here's Sal Butera, catcher for the Twins. Hey, Sal, what do you think?
This is marvelous. I can't help it.
I think he said, this is marvelous. I can't believe it. I don't believe anyone can. I'll talk to some of the fans in the crowd. What do you think of this?
This is great. I've never seen so much confetti in my life. This is so much fun.
You all from school today?
Yeah, of course. Mom, let me stay home.
How long are you going to remember this scene?
Probably forever. Until we win again.
Until we win again. That'll be next year.
All
right. How about you?
That's great, man. I'm great. Twins won it.
He seems like he's holding up a sign, though, Don. I can't see what it says.
I can see it has a Homer hanky on the
Homer
backside
hanky.
of it.
Tom and Colleen Bernansky right behind him. You know, speaking of Tom Kelly, here's a guy you got to love. Turned down the David Letterman show so a couple of the players could go.
But it's just like him all year. You know that you didn't see him out there jumping up and down and celebrating with the team. He sat in the dugout when the World Series was clinched, as he did with the pennant, as he did with the division. He says it's his favorite thing to sit back and watch the players celebrate. But Tom Kelly deserves a great deal of credit for this. This is called a ticker tape parade. Of course, it isn't a ticker tape. They've stopped making ticker tape a long, long time ago when we went to computers and to digital printers. But what suffices as the ticker tape now is just about anything you can tear up. Any piece of paper, any of the shredded business work that you have, it's headed south right now, from the top down toward Marquette.
This is a typical female reaction, but who's going to clean it up?
I don't know how typically female it is. I know Dave Moore and I spend a lot of time on our hands and knees with the fellas in NAPTA cleaning up the linoleum, so maybe it's just the typical reaction. Tom and Colleen are standing by out there. There's Gary Gaetti, Debbie, his wife, and family. Tom, Colleen, how's your vantage point now? What do you see?
This is a fabulous vantage point. We are having a blast out here. The confetti is flying. We just saw a few of the players go by, and then the parade stopped for a moment. It's waiting to catch up with everyone else.
We've got a second wave of players. There's a little break just to give the fans a breather to get their confetti ready to throw again, and the second wave is approaching us at this point. This is indescribable. It is, well, the pictures have told the story. I don't need to.
We just saw Dan Gladden and his wife go by, and their child, and she's expecting another child in the near future.
Child's name is Ashley. It's easy for me to remember.
This looks like...
Mark Davidson now approaching us. Mark, the reserve outfielder that saw some action in the World Series, one of the outfielders of the future for the Minnesota Twins. He's eating it up. There he is. And here comes Gary Gaetti and his wife Debbie and their children. And what a time for Gary and his family.
The Gaettis are just going past us right now. They look a little overwhelmed, don't they, by all of this? It's not hard to believe. It is an incredible experience to be
Gary's
here.
son Joseph looks a little bit nervous. I don't blame him. This is a little bit frightened. There's Kirby Puckett and his wife. Has to be one of the most popular players today. They're all popular.
They are truly heroes today and every day.
Kent Herbeck being absolutely mobbed by this crowd. There you see Kent. Along with his wife, Jeannie. Jimmy Wiesner, the equipment manager, his good friend that put together those T-shirts and pulled them out when they won the Western Division, the American League Championship, and finally the World Series. Joe Niekro now approaching.
You can see the scene down here. The confetti is still flying, and it's still coming out of the windows. And the cars are still making their way through the traffic.
And there's Frank Viola, the most valuable player of the World Series. Frank and his wife, Kathy.
The police still trying to do what they can to keep the people back. But these people love these players too much to stay away.
There's Joe Niekro and his son, Lance. And what a moment it has to be for the children of these players to share in their dad's and mom's delight and the whole Twin Cities. This is no longer the Twin Cities. This is a baseball town all of a sudden here.
Here's Kirby Puckett again as he goes by.
That's
Truly
a hat
one of the
Gary.
favorites here.
That's right. That's a hat Gary Gaetti gave to him after the World Series. Both flaps down.
I'm still amazed that they were able to get anybody through here at all.
What fun.
And they're still coming.
There's Roy Smalley and his wife, Christine, their son Jeffrey, and their identical twin daughters.
And the crowd has not let up, not for 1 minute.
Frank Viola just coming by.
Frank's wife, Kathy, blowing her whistle. I don't think she can probably even hear herself right at this point. There's another shot of them.
Frankie Jr. and Brittany Ann with them.
That must be awfully overwhelming for the little ones to be in the midst
to be
of all of
scary
this.
a little bit. You bet. Look at the car inside. You saw the shot of the confetti has filled up the convertibles.
You know, I'm really impressed with this crowd. With as large of a crowd, as many people as there are, they have really done what they can to accommodate the people coming through here. I don't know if you can see from this picture, at the very end of the cars, there are the state troopers who are trying to kind of keep a little order to this. We're kind of at a disadvantage. We're not able to see much further down the street than where we are right now to know if there are others coming or if
But we can feel the sound, as they say, and the excitement. And Debbie Ely, describe what you're seeing right now.
Well, I'm still seeing the sea of people and the parade creeping through downtown Minneapolis. It looks like it has about hit the 8th and Marquette area, the end of the parade. Still a lot of confetti being hurled from downtown office rooftops. Interesting to note, and you can't see it, but as the parade passes, we've noticed some water trucks and actually a snowplow coming along and shoving away that confetti. I know Pat had asked earlier how they get rid of all of that. From the air, we have also seen a fellow who is flying around with a banner behind his plane that says, "Way to go, Twins." And shortly before the parade, we noticed 5 C-130 cargo planes zipping past as kind of a salute to the Twins. It is an awesome sight from up here. I'll pass it back to you.
It's unbelievable, and as the players have gone by, the people are following them in line. We may have a line of 30 or 40 miles of people following this Twins motorcade. It's unbelievable.
But they're going to walk all the way to St. Paul, I think. They're all going to go to the Capitol.
Why not?
Why not? Scene here, imagine what it's going to be like at the state Capitol if and when they ever get there. Who knows?
I tell you what, talking to the players, they had said there's no way they felt that the affection, the outpour of emotion could be topped. We saw at the Metrodome over the last few weeks. It's been topped, Colleen.
And Tom, I can see just coming up behind us is a truck carrying the, looks like the mayor, Mayor George Latimer, Mayor Don Frazier, some of the city council members.
Andy
on
McPhail on board. Other members of the Twins staff we see.
Oh, what a thrill it is for everyone to be a part of this occasion today.
There are the mayors.
You know, everybody's a hero today. The players, the fans, and the mayors.
Words, as we say, can't describe it. The pictures have done an adequate job, but being here, this has been the highlight of the year, and that includes winning the World Series. What a day.
What a day indeed. You can see inside the truck that it is just packed full of confetti. That's what the streets look like here. It is, in some places, it's knee-deep in confetti around here. It has been coming out of the windows downtown just as fast as it can. It is still, the wind is really gusty down here, so it's being carried up and down by the wind. So we're really in a rainstorm of paper down here.
And the final people in this motorcade, other than the police that will follow, at the back of the bus, Howard Fox, who played an important role, and Jerry Bell, the president of the Twins. We're going to throw it right now back to the studio, Don and Pat.
All right, thank you, Tom and Colleen. And this report from St. Paul right now, the police have notified us that the streets there are entirely clogged. They encourage everyone to stay home, watch this thing on television. If you are trying to go, you will not get there. They say all of the streets in downtown St. Paul are basically clogged, I think was the word they used.
Yeah, and we're going to have some views from downtown St. Paul from our cameras over on that side as this coverage of the Twins Championship Parade continues.
On behalf of all of us at Midwest Federal, I'd like to congratulate the Minnesota Twins on your World Series championship. It's been a great year, and we are proud to have sponsored the play-by-play action on radio and television for the 18th consecutive season. The Twins have brought worldwide recognition to our area, and all the celebrating that's going on right now is well-deserved. So fans, join me in congratulating the Minnesota Twins. We salute you as the new world champions of 1987.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is Plywood, Minnesota's wallpaper and houseware sale.
You betcha, Ken. In-stock wallpaper is sale price from $1, $2, and $3.
Yep, Thursday through Sunday, wallpaper is on sale from $1, $2, and $3.
At Plywood, Minnesota, this 24-piece glass set is just $6.88.
Crystal stemware from $1.99 a glass.
This 40-piece dinnerware set is just $29.99.
Plywood, Minnesota's great wallpaper and houseware sale.
See our newest store in Burnsville.
Out of more than 4,000 physicians in the Twin Cities, how do you pick just one? Call 874-4444 for Medformation.
He's so matter-of-fact.
You mean impish.
You mean Pat Sajak?
He's a funny guy.
She's hot.
You mean beautiful.
You mean Vanna White.
Oh, and look at that.
And the game.
So simple.
So fun.
I'm a wheel watcher.
Go for it.
Weeknights at 6:30.
Be a wheel watcher.
Weeknights.
And Saturdays.
On Channel 4.
Well, we have been told in St. Paul it is just a madhouse, that all of the streets are clogged. The fans in Minneapolis, in the meantime, are going to have to figure out a way to get home. Mike Walsh is standing by now with some of them who had a chance to not only see, but I guess touch some of the players, Mike, huh?
Right, Pat. It is pandemonium out here. The Twins have gone now, but the party continues. I want to talk to a couple of fans here. Hi, how long have you been waiting for?
About an hour and a half. Drove all the way from Ceylon, Minnesota this morning. 180 miles.
Was it worth it?
You bet. It's great. I love it.
Did you ever think you'd see this in Minnesota?
You bet. I waited 23 years for this, and it's fantastic.
All right. How long you got to remember this?
Forever.
All right, great. I've got confetti in my mouth. I can't talk anymore. Back to, I believe, to Colleen or back to the studio. All right.
He's gonna get combat. Story of this day, Colleen, the fans and the excitement and the memories that have occurred here in Minneapolis and will be occurring in a few minutes in St. Paul.
Oh, and what a show this town has put on for the fans and for the players.
There's a line of at least a mile of people behind the motorcade that are following the Twins and may do so to St. Paul. And as you can tell behind us, the fans, they're not too excited about what's going on. Ralph and Cindy Savas, take it away.
All right, you know, you mentioned earlier about the congestion here in downtown St. Paul. I can vouch for that. It took me I was an hour late getting here, I believe. And the Vulcan crew just went by a short time ago. That's a little traffic moving. The crowd here has been entertaining itself with the taste great, less filling chant back and forth. I think they should change that to Twins great, top billing or something of that nature. They're hanging from the rafters over on the parking lot across from us here at 4th and Wabasha. The parade is supposedly going to be moving from 6 to 8 miles per hour. It looks a little slower than that at the moment, but people here are still anxiously awaiting the Twins' arrival in St. Paul, but that could be some time away. Cindy Hilger is standing by and has a guest for us. Cindy, are you there?
Well, Ralph, I'm behind you a few feet, and the people have been out here since about 9 this morning. A lot of the people that are here right now are kids. We gathered a group here. Where are you guys from? South St. Paul, is that right?
Yeah. St. John.
How come you guys came out here early this morning to watch this?
Had to see the Twins.
Now, if the Twins would happen to stop and talk to you guys, what would you say to them?
We'd congratulate them and thank them for winning so we can come out here.
How about you?
Tell them they're awesome.
Tell them they're awesome. How about you? What would you say? Like Kirby Puckett stopped. What would you say to Kirby Puckett?
Tell him he had a great series and he showed the Cardinals.
Kent Herbeck. What would you say to Kent Herbeck?
I'd tell him that he's the best.
He's the best. I think we all agree about that. The Twins are the best. For anybody thinking about coming downtown St. Paul, I'd suggest you stay home. It is absolutely mobbed right now. Traffic is being stopped. The people here are cheering for the meter maids as they're coming up and down Wabasha. We're going to go back to Tom and Colleen now in Minneapolis. Back to you guys. Yay! I'll tell you.
It's incredible. Having an incredible time out here. Everybody is just having a wonderful time. I will never forget this.
The parade is over, but believe me, nobody wants to leave. They want to soak this up as long as they can. And hello, we're having a good time, as you can tell as well.
And look at the folks behind us. Everybody here really having a wonderful time.
We're gonna send it back before we're engulfed in this crowd. Mike, let's send it to you if you can break away.
Right, Colleen and Tom, it was a world-class parade for world champions of baseball. And let's hear a shout. Who's number one? Who's number one? All right, that's the scene here on Marquette Avenue. Back to you, Don and Pat.
All right, thanks, Mike. You know, it's interesting because anyone associated with the Twins automatically becomes a hero, too. We were watching the other night after the World Series, and as the men were bringing the trash out of the Metrodome, they were being cheered
applauded.
as if they had won the series.
We are in the safe confines of the studio here at WCCO TV. The parade passed about 60 feet from this doorway, and we didn't have to be out in it. But the reason is we survived St. Louis, so we're letting the other people take it tonight.
Hey, I just want to say thanks to a lot of people who wrote us about the Twins, but Pat Cotnor sent a poem, and I have to read the last paragraph to you.
All right.
Minnesota Twins, you sure made us proud. You killed the monkey and got rid of the cloud. Now, how could we ask for a much greater team when the one that we've got just gave us our dream? Very nice.
After my words, exactly. You think we ought to throw some of this around? I think it's some.
All right, let's take a look at some of the memories that we're going to all share after this is all said and done. Some things we captured on videotape for you.
Our Twins are red hot. Your team ain't doodly squat. Yeah! Our Twins are red hot. Your team ain't doodly squat. Well, they made it to the playoffs because they really won a lot. Frankfurt and Reardon stepping up to the mound. They're getting ready to mow them down. Our Twins are red hot. Your team ain't doodly squat. Yeah! Our Twins are red hot. Your team ain't doodly squat. Yeah, they're going to win the pennant because they give it all they got. Back out! Kirby are taking the swings, dreaming of wearing those series rings. Our Twins are red hot. Your team ain't doodly squat. Yeah! Our Twins are red hot. Your team ain't doodly squat. Well, we're going to the series, then we'll show them what we got. Put some more Gary Gaetti!
I love it.
Great times. I think it has just been embedded into my mind. I know yours as well as every fan that spent any time at all watching this wonderful World Series. Every one of those moments are moments to remember, and I don't know if I'll ever shake what
But we're going to have fun putting
like.
all that video together after this is all over, and in a year's time look back on this and remember, because it's hard, I think, when you're in the midst of it to really appreciate all that is going on. Even the players have said that this is not going to really come home to them for at least a couple of weeks when they're gone and on vacation and sit back and think about what's happened, because it's hard to really grasp it all right
Did you
now.
notice how many young people were in the crowd, the parade crowd, and in the celebration following the Twins' victories and also the party? That's great news for the Twins.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
great news for the Twin Cities and for the state of Minnesota. And we should mention the
That's
Dakotas
their
and Iowa
future,
as well.
obviously.
That's right.
One of the things...
Since 1891.
Halloween is such a festive time. Best Buy is celebrating with spectacular savings. Free candy for the kiddies on Halloween. Free Scotch-Light reflective tape for safety. And scary costume contests for all ages with prizes that are to die for. Like color TVs, compact disc players, etc. So shop Best Buy for spectacular savings. Igor, employees cannot enter the contest. It's a rule.
For months, Northwest Airlines has been battered by problems. Flight delays, lost luggage, and passenger complaints. But now there are new questions about maintenance. Is Northwest Airlines fixing their planes promptly and properly, or are they flying some planes with too many broken parts? The I-Team asked a national expert.
There's a time to fix and a time to fly, and they should have fixed this one before they flew it.
Join us for a special I-Team report, beginning Tuesday on the 10 p.m. report, Channel 4.
We want to welcome you back now to our live coverage of the parade going on. They are on their way, by the way, right now. They're on 94, and they're on their way to St. Paul, where a huge and enormous crowd is waiting for them. This is the scene at the Capitol right now, where a rally is planned for just about 2 o'clock when the parade should end, and they will all gather at the state capitol, which, by the way, if you're planning to attend, it may be too late at this point. This is downtown St. Paul, so as you can see, you won't be able to get through in a car. If you are at home, police are advising you to stay there. They say that the roadways in St. Paul are completely jammed at this hour and that there is no way to get through.
Also, a couple of things to consider might be, you saw at what a snail's pace this thing has gone at. I think that they had expected it to go to 8 or 9 miles per hour down the streets of Minneapolis, then on 94 at a fairly rapid clip, then into St. Paul. This thing may be a little later than 2 o'clock or 2:30 even by the time that the big rally at the Capitol takes place. So
I have a feeling it's going to take a while. So while we are waiting for them to arrive in St. Paul, we want to just take a moment now to look back on the 1987 baseball season. The magic moments, as you know, for the Twins are many. It all began on April 7th with a rookie manager who told us he had the jitters.
Well, I would probably be nervous. I've been nervous pretty much all day, and been to the bathroom a few times, so I guess I've been nervous.
Tom Kelly, you need not be nervous any longer. The Twins started the season on the right foot.
Pocket sends it deep. We're back. Goodbye.
Powerful bats and a dazzling display of defense kept the Twins on top of the division most of the first half.
To the bag. What a play by Herbie.
On 3-2. Out into short right field. Lombardozzi on the run. What a catch by Lombardozzi. That's Curry. Curry got it.
Oh, there were those moments best forgotten.
McDowell's trying to score. They got a play on him, and he's safe.
But nothing that couldn't be remedied by some good dome cooking.
That's hit deep to right field. The ball game is over. Fly ball belted deep to right. Kingery looks up and this will fly away. Big home run in their victory yesterday and sent a towering deep drive to center. Closest to the warning track, to the wall, fly away.
The Twins kept pace throughout August and into September. The new additions to the 1987 team helped give them the edge.
Left side, and he gets it through that little hole on the left side.
Late in September, the Twins found themselves playing for the division title.
It's deep. It's deep. It's gone. Gaetti tries one to deep center. Wilson going back, and this one is gone. Way back and gone.
They tied for the title against Kansas City, then clinched it in Texas.
It was just I don't know, an intense feeling in the dugout, just trying to, get that last out and get it over with. Need some help, Lumber?
Yeah, he could probably. Ken Herbeck.
I'm stumbling here.
Onward to the playoffs and a date with Detroit. Critics said there was no way the Twins could match up with the mighty Tigers.
Broken bat. Gaetti goes to one knee, hustles up, and Herbeck with an extraordinary play. Sheridan drives one to deep right, way back. It's on its way, and the Tigers have the lead. Hard shot, extra base hit by the diving Brookins. One run in. And they'll have runners at second and third as Larkin comes through with a pinch hit double. He could use the strikeout here. Hiding the corners. Throw to third. Out! They got Evans! Any pitch could be the last. Reardon has it. The Minnesota Twins are in the World Series.
5 games disposed of Detroit, and the march continued to the World Series. The St. Louis Cardinals found out firsthand what the Metrodome mania was all about.
High in the air to deep left field. Coleman goes back. A grand slam. To center and deep. And McGee goes back and it's gone.
A 2-game lead was just what the doctor ordered. But a 3-game trip to St. Louis brought back memories of the road trip blues.
High drive to deep left field. Gladden goes all the way back at the fence. It's off. It's gone.
The Twins were down 3-2, but the cure was simple. Bring it back to the Dome.
To deep left field. And that one is gone. Bases loaded. 2 out. Bottom of the 6th. Twins lead by 1. And Herbeck gets a high drive to deep center field. McGee goes back. Grand slam. To Gaetti, for the first time ever, the Minnesota Twins are the world champions.
You have to wonder, will victory ever taste that sweet again?
Hey. Oh, you got something to watch all winter long.
Yeah, I wonder if we'll ever get tired of the highlights.
Did you see Loudner get up from under that pile?
I was worried he was injured.
You'll need spring training to pull out of that.
Dave Moore has joined us here in the bleachers, which you've grown accustomed to over this past season.
My second home, Don. I'm just wondering now, boy, if that parade is ever going to commence in St. Paul. I came from the university westbound and looked over there right down to the entrance of eastbound 94. It's back to back.
That's what the
The
police
cars are
told us.
bumper to
They
bumper.
said if you're going to try and go to the state capitol, forget it.
Well, you couldn't get there, but I wonder if they'd reroute the parade around University Avenue. Although, how can you get onto University Avenue?
Right. It's going to be interesting. We're going to be back in just a moment. Stay with us.
On behalf of all of us at Midwest Federal, I'd like to congratulate the Minnesota Twins on your World Series championship. It's been a great year, and we are proud to have sponsored the play-by-play action on radio and television for the 18th consecutive season. The Twins have brought worldwide recognition to our area, and all the celebrating that's going on right now is well-deserved. So fans, join me in congratulating the Minnesota Twins. We salute you as the new world champions of 1987.
Just won the World Series. What are you going to do next? We're going to Disney World.
Here, I want to show you something. Come on, it's about your furniture. Here's a typical chair, the way it looks before Park begins custom fitting your new upholstery. See this piece of webbing? It should be replaced, so Park does it. These springs, Park automatically reties them. At Park, we take pride in what we do, so you'll be proud of what you get. And here's a special bonus. With every order for any sofa or 2 chairs, Park will build you a new ottoman with matching fabric absolutely free.
We want to welcome you back, and in case you just joined us, this is Champions, a twin celebration brought to you in part by Midwest Federal, your #1 sports fan and good tree to come to for shelter since 1891. We're going to throw it to Debbie Ely now, who is in the helicopter high above the area just on I-94 going towards St. Paul. Debbie?
Pat, in the last minute or so, it looks as though the parade has finally broken loose of the Minneapolis crowd. We're looking at a scene that's about 2 blocks east of the Metrodome, right as you prepare to get onto I-94. There's a big bus station there, and I can only assume that what's going to happen is that perhaps some of the players will be getting into that bus and making the ride over to St. Paul, where they will meet at the staging area of Wabasha and Kellogg, right down there near the Civic Center, where they will begin the parade through downtown St. Paul. My watch says that it's 2 minutes after 1 right now. They were supposed to be over there at 12:45, so you can see they're about 17 minutes late. I'm told that the drive they're expecting to be about 10 minutes, so they may be about 25 minutes late to their date in St. Paul. Back to you.
I think you're exactly right, Debbie, and that was a good observation. They would not in this weather, traverse 94, the 10 miles it takes to go between Minneapolis and St. Paul in those open convertibles, especially some of them with their children with them, so that they will park those cars there, get on the bus, drive the cars over individually, and then get off and restage around Wabasha and Kellogg.
I don't think anybody expected this thing to be on time anyway, did they, Dave?
It's a lot of trouble to win a World Series, isn't it?
Especially at the aftermath of the World Series. I don't think it's any trouble to win a World Series, Dave. I think
I'm amazed. I don't know how they cleared that freeway there. It was just from the 6th Street entrance in Minneapolis going to St. Paul. It was stopped. I can't imagine that. I think that might be a news story. We have to.
How did they do it?
Alert our assignment desk.
You know, I had to think when we watched the truck go by with the officials, and you saw George Latimer and Don Fraser on board. This has got to be a politician's dream come true as well.
Yeah, but who could
to be
see
in the middle
them?
of this crowd.
Who could find them?
I would imagine the Department of Tourism and Development is probably having a celebration of its own here with all of the national attention given to this area about the Twins. But you know tonight, the national news, every network we'll carry stories about this parade, and then I'm certain they'll bring up the fact that we have spent many years in number 2 position.
People they're dwelling on that, and it's bothering me a little bit that we, collectively, would allow that to upset us, that we've been number 2. You have to think about how many NFL teams have been in the Super Bowl, how many vice presidents have we had in the last 20 years. It's almost a position of distinction because no other state can make that kind of a claim. I'm anxious to see how Sports Illustrated and Peter Gammons treat the Twins. Did you get a lot of flack from people about the biasness of the announcers, the 3 networks?
You know, Mark Rosen talked to Pete from Sports Illustrated when we were in St. Louis, and I thought he gave us a real fair shake. He did an excellent job on the interview.
He's been fair from before the playoffs. He's made a strong note of that in Sports Illustrated, and he has he's been even. He's been balanced about it. But in his writing, you can sense this incredulousness that it can't happen. And we too, Minnesota. When I was a kid growing up, and the World Series was something that happened someplace else, in Baltimore, New York, and.
But you almost took that for granted, though, didn't you? I mean, that it was going to happen in those areas. I think Whitey Herzog said it best. Who would you rather be, Bud Grant or John Robinson? John Robinson, who's never been to the Super Bowl, or Bud Grant's been there 4 times and lost. He said he'd much rather be Bud Grant. We're going to go to Cindy now. She's in St. Paul, where the excitement is building. Cindy Hilger.
The crowd is getting a little restless here. The crowd is getting a little restless here. A lot of these people thought the Twins would be here by now. I don't know. It almost feels like they're going to run out of confetti. It's been a steady stream for the last hour. In fact, we're probably in the windiest corner of downtown St. Paul. We're getting pelted in the face by this confetti. I've gathered a group of kids here with me right now. I guess we're taking a shot at the Capitol. We've got a dance line at the Capitol. But in the meantime, here in the corner of 4th and Wabasha, we've just got a ton of kids that have been let out of school to come down here to see the Twins. One of the guys I'd like everybody to meet his name is Chris Maddox. Chris, you're quite a character. Tell me what you did this morning. You came down here all by yourself?
Yeah.
Did your mom know you're down here downtown St. Paul? She doesn't care, huh?
No.
Now tell me, Chris, who your favorite player is. Come on in here.
Kirby Puckett.
Now, what if Kirby stopped and said hello to you? What would you tell him?
I want him to come to my house and visit me.
You do, huh? Okay. Some of these other people, they're not from St. Paul. You guys came all the way from Wayzata, right?
Yeah.
How come you came all the way downtown from Wayzata?
To see the Twins play.
Yeah. Also, you got another stop.
Get out of school. Yeah.
That seems to be the big reason here in St. Paul. Now, what are you going to do after the Twins come by here?
Go to the Capitol.
Is that why you really came down? You want to hear them talk? What would you say to them if they had a chance to stop and see you guys?
Did a great job. Do it again next year. That's right.
All right. Sounds good. We're going to throw it back to Don and Pat now. We're waiting anxiously for this motorcade to come down.
All right, Cindy. Thank you very much.
And we're waiting anxiously as well, and they should be, on board that bus now and on their way to St. Paul at the meeting point to get it back into the convertible.
Yeah, I would imagine they'll reconvene in about 15 minutes. You know, one of the most visible signs of all of this Twins enthusiasm, especially during the postseason, has become probably the most famous piece of laundry in the whole world, the Homer hanky.
What started as a big marketing risk for the Star and Tribune has turned into a wave of good fortune.
So we've had great fun with the Homer hanky. I think it's hopefully a part of the tradition. The Twins will be around for a long time.
I'm certain you started a tradition here.
The demand for the coveted Homer hanky has gone beyond a fad. It is now a part of Minnesota history.
That piece of sports memorabilia, by the way, has now found its way into the Minnesota Historical Society.
A song has been written in its honor, and the folks in Minnesota organized a special hanky rally to show appreciation for this piece of golden fleece. Even the Cardinals found magic in the idea and took it upon themselves to start a linen war.
See, we're not like an exploding team. Every time the Cardinals get a rally going, we just stand up and wave them around and go around. Their rally hankies, more or less.
It's the Twins' idea, and I think that's great. And then the Cards had to go copy it and then give it out to all their fans.
No copy.
No copy.
And as most fans know by now, there are many reasons to wave the heralded hanky.
I believe this is a home run. Just like this, and they're going to do that and get a home run, right?
The base hit.
And in the bad call, you can always cover your eyes.
It gives the G-man incredible power to, like, slam home runs. And it waves easier off a hat, as you can clearly see.
We wanna win,
see the Twins, too, right through that hanky.
And of course, wearing the hanky as an accessory has become quite the trend as well.
I'm wearing my Homer hanky around my neck because I guess I just don't want it to get lost.
Well, it's quite easy. The Twins are the top of the league, and therefore one should wear your symbol of excellence at the top. Also, in this brisk weather, it does help to keep it a little bit warmer.
Yes, the Homer hanky is everywhere. And if the greatest compliment is to be imitated, then by Jove, Homer hankies, you have arrived.
Boy, what a marketing ploy that was. We've got to find out when this is all said and done how the Star-Tribune ended up on that Homer hanky.
Well, I wonder if they have, I'm certain they have rights to the thing, but I didn't see too many pirated copies of the Homer hanky, but I saw a lot of homemade Homer hankies.
Right.
People with
and
a little
those
red
work just
magic
as
marker.
well, didn't they? But you know, it's been just such a marketing boon for so many of these souvenir givers. But somebody said what they were selling these Homer hankies for, what, $2, something like that? And they cost 17 cents to make, so.
It was the creation of one particular lady, and I'm sorry, I don't have her name in mind, in the promotion marketing department. At the
Right, in Tom Culligan's division over there.
It's just a propitious timing. Anybody, I suppose, you could have come up with something else. I don't know, a pen or a pencil, but you can't do anything with pens or pencils.
Oh, it was a perfect symbol, a perfect one.
I still carry mine. I think I'll probably carry mine the rest of my life.
Well, while Di gets his Homer hanky out, we're going to go over to St. Paul, where they are standing by, Marcia Fleur and Mark Rosen, waiting for the Twins to arrive.
That's right, Pat. Marcia and I are standing here on the steps, actually about 15 feet above the steps. It's not that Marcia and I are not good friends, but we're standing on about a 3-foot wide slab of granite here. As you take a look at some of the scenes going on here at the state capitol, where people have been rocking and rolling since early this morning, Marcia.
That's right. I've been here for rallies before, and I can count up to 5,000 on these Capitol steps. I think right now, Mark, we have over 30,000 people out here waiting.
And a very well-behaved crowd at that. I mean, people have been very, very patient. There are a number of young kids up in the front row here who have been waiting since early this morning, and everyone has taken their time, staying back. I think they're aware now that it's going to be a while before the Twins actually get here to talk to the crowd here at the steps of the state capitol. So the great signs we've seen out here. Is this great or what?
This is not Minnesota. I've never seen anything like it since ticker tape parades in New York City. You know, Mark, what really impresses me is that they knew there would be a big crowd out here, and they've had bands, and they've had various cheerleading squads, and they've been playing Twins music. And I think the only people out here who are cold are us, because we're up on this platform alone. Everybody down there is crushed.
We had the opportunity to watch the Minneapolis celebration in our production truck, and I think Marcia and I feel the same way. We felt like we were watching this from another city. This can't be happening here in the Twin Cities after all these years, but it really is, and everyone is enjoying it, even though they've been waiting for quite a few hours. No one seems to mind.
I don't think anybody anticipated this. I think if they had anticipated the crush of the crowds in the streets of Minneapolis, that everybody probably, the police probably would have put up the same kind of barricade they do for the Aquatennial. They expected a few thousand people, of course, and a lot of cheering and yelling, but not the crushes. Let's go see what Cindy and Ralph are doing in downtown St. Paul.
Marcia, we're waiting.
We're not freezing, I'll tell you
No,
that.
it's really nice. It has clouded over a lot, though, and the wind, that's what's surprising me. We've got a windy corner here. This confetti's whipping around like crazy.
A lot of people, I have never seen anything like it in my life, Cindy. In any sporting event I have covered, so many people, it is just unbelievable. That's the only thing you can say at this point.
Mark was saying at the Capitol, the crowd has been well-behaved. I'd have to say that here, too, even though people are getting restless, we hear a lot of the tastes great, less filling chant, but that's about it. They really have been quite patient.
I was saying they should change that chant to Twins great, top billing. How does that sound?
You may have a new one. I think we're going to try to head back up to the chopper to just try to find out. Oh, I guess we're going to go back to Don and Pat. Back to you guys.
Well, as a matter of fact, Cindy, we did go back to the chopper. You can see right now the view from the air, looking over the interstate system there on the way to St. Paul. We are assuming that the Twins now are aboard that bus and on their way.
Yeah, those are the empty convertibles going right there.
Right.
Empty, save a driver.
And they will meet the bus then at the Wabasha pickup point, where the Twins will then get into the cars again, into the convertibles, and take off for the parade.
Well, we're going to be back with more coverage of the Twins championship season, a parade and a celebration, right after this.
and the Twins just won the World Series. What are you going to do next? We're going to Disney World.
Halloween is such a festive time. Best Buy is celebrating with spectacular savings. Free candy for the kiddies on Halloween. Free Scotch-Lite reflective tape for safety. And scary costume contests for all ages with prizes that are to die for. Like color TVs, compact disc players, etc. So shop Best Buy for spectacular savings. Igor, employees cannot enter the contest. It's a rule.
In many homes, money is disappearing. It's being taken by inefficient heating, drafty windows, and countless other culprits that snatch away dollars. Let NSP check your home's energy use before your money vanishes into thin air. Call NSP for an energy audit. It's only $10.
Welcome back to our coverage of this wonderful Twins Parade. Just some millions and millions of people downtown, it seems like. I know that's an overstatement, but maybe 1 million showed up for this thing. Who knows?
Well, you know, things are bound to happen, too, when it gets this crowded. And we are told that during the parade through Minneapolis, Salbuteros, so much confetti got into the car that the engine started the paper on fire. They had to evacuate the car, although the fire department did put everything out.
Nobody hurt.
And as
safe. Yeah.
And as we heard, there were no injuries, so that's good. And they're going to be back in their car in St. Paul, so don't worry. Let's go to St. Paul right now, where they are still waiting for the Twins to arrive.
All right, Pat and company, we are here downtown St. Paul at 4th and Wabasha, and we're about a block away from where the parade will begin in downtown St. Paul and head up Wabasha and then head for the state capitol. The crowd is just a huge one here, and they've been very patient awaiting for the Minnesota Twins, and I'm told that the Twins motorcade coming from Minneapolis to St. Paul is now on I-94. They finally did make it. I guess Kent Herbick's car was simply mobbed. No injuries there, we're happy to report. And right now we have Cindy Hilger standing by with some folks here in the St. Paul crowd. Cindy?
You know, Ralph, I keep talking to kids, but to be honest with you, that's all I'm finding out here. There are just thousands and thousands of school kids that have taken the day off and come down here to take a look to see the Twins. Where are you guys all from?
Inver Grove.
What time did you get out here this morning?
About 11:30.
11:30. How'd you ever think it would take this long to see the Twins, or are you getting impatient?
Yeah.
How about you? Who do you hope to see out here today?
Oh, I hope to see them all. Ken Herbeck, Kirby Puckett, the whole team.
When the season began, did any of you guys think that they'd make it this far?
Not even close.
Not even close? How come?
Because they stunk last year.
That's one way to put it, I guess. How about you?
I thought they had a good chance. I knew they had a lot of talent, but they needed a few good pitchers.
All right. Who'd you guys come out here to see? Are y'all from Inver Grove, too?
No, we're not from St. Paul, Highland Park.
Who are you hoping to see out here today?
Anyone, any Twin, I guess.
Kirby Puckett. What would you say to Kirby if he stopped and said hello to you?
Good game, good game.
Great game. Great game. I think the sentiment here is the same. Everybody just wants to see the Twins. We're going to go back over to Mark and Marcia now at the state capitol.
You know, I have seen the Capitol in a lot of various forms of decoration over the years, but I have never seen it look as beautiful as it does today.
Absolutely right, Marcia, and everyone is just can't wait for the Minnesota Twins to arrive. Unfortunately, they're going to have to wait a little bit longer because, as we've seen already, they haven't started the parade route yet in St. Paul. Marcia, at a time like this, a lot of things going through everyone's mind. I think back to certainly sitting on the third base photo loft with you at Old Met Stadium.
Right.
Watching Bobo Rivera and Willie Norwood play outfield for the Minnesota Twins, thinking, would we ever be able to experience anything like this as fans?
You know, I think perhaps my fondest old memory was watching poor Willie Norwood try to throw to home plate. He threw the biggest hook I ever saw. He could get it from right field to third base faster than anybody I ever knew.
We're talking about parades, too, March. As you know, we got to take part in the Aquatennial Torchlight Parade. And it was a nice summer night in July, and Marcia and I were on the float along with a lot of other CCO personalities. And I turned over to Marcia and I said, the Twins just beat the Yankees. And I said, you know what? This would be nice to be in another parade at the end of October. Would it not, going through the streets, never thinking that was really going to happen?
I thought you'd really jinxed it at that point.
Yeah, I know, I probably did, but this is really something.
As you know, it never happened. I think all of us who really love the Twins and have been following for years kept our fingers crossed more about this team. There was the feeling that old class of that that old class of '82, if they couldn't do it this year, maybe they never could.
You know, when I was in school, we called that TPing the tree, right? That's just one big tree in front of the state capitol that has the toilet paper all over it.
You know, it's going to be like a hangover over here tomorrow. The governor's going to look out his window and see that tree and wonder what in the world he's created.
We're seeing now over 30,000 people here in front of the state capitol. And one guy who's familiar with the state capitol is Pat Kessler. Pat, take it away.
Well, I got to tell you, Mark, they just announced that the Twins are on Interstate 94. That was a big cheer you heard. What you're looking at now is old Governor Knute Nelson. Yeah, I wonder what he's thinking now. The men and women who built this state, I must say, they knew that there was fun in some Minnesotans. They knew that we weren't all reluctant and reticent. Look, we want to talk to some of the fans. Some of these people have been out here for many, many, many hours. Follow me, if you would, just a minute. Folks, how long you been out here?
About an hour and a half. 11 o'clock.
11 o'clock?
Yeah.
See, you can't, everybody wants to say, 11 o'clock. I want to ask everybody something. How many? Let me ask you something. Are you insane?
Yeah!
Yeah, we figured that. We figured that. We've been talking to people around here who've been here, some since 8 o'clock this morning. Some say they've been here earlier, holding down spots here. The crowd has generally been just very, very nice. It's very cordial. People around here have a very good feeling. So this is something like I've never seen. This is a place that is very used to anger and debate. I haven't seen that here today. So, Marcia and Mark, it looks like things here are still, as you can tell, just very, very up. We're going to be around all day, of course.
All right, Pat, thank you very much. And as you know, there are thousands and thousands of school kids here today, which is really gratifying to see because that's what baseball is all about. It's for the kids. It's also nice, Marcia, to turn to our left and see a number of the fans here in wheelchairs who have made special provisions to get close to the stage, and that is really nice to see.
I think so, too. You know, a little bit earlier we were talking about the Aquatennial Parade. Somebody back at the station dusted off that file. So let's go to Mark Rosen and Marcia Fleur in July.
Our health and science reporter. You see Mark Rosen there as well. Dave Nimmer is standing up, ladies and gentlemen. You may not think he is, but he is standing to his full height.
We're going to toss it right now to Mark Rosen, who is on board the WCCO float. Mark, if you can hear me, tell us what you're doing.
Pat, I think I can hear you, Pat. It's a little noisy on here. We're on, of course, the WCCO float with Terry Sander, Alan Cox, Tony Sample, Carolyn Lowe, Dave Moore, Dave Nemmer, Jim Newman, Tony McNary. And we're really celebrating because the Twins just beat the Yankees 3-1 over at the Dome. It's a few blocks away, over 40,000 at the Dome. And I'm talking to one of the biggest baseball fans I know, Marcia Fleur. Marcia, we're doubly excited tonight.
Well, we're going to have a parade just like this in October.
Oh, I know we are. Right down the mall when the Twins win the series, huh?
Through the Dome.
We're having a great time out here. The Twins had a great time. A lot of baseball fans asking us how the Twins did. Herbert hit a 2-run homer. Puckett hit a home run. Viola got the win. Reardon got the save. That's it in a nutshell. I know Pat Sajak will be happy to hear that. You're going to have to stay in town, Sajak, because good luck to the Twins. That's all there is to it.
You have to...
Hey, it was you!
You know, our memories play tricks on us all day long. We've been saying, Mark told me we were going to have a parade. I almost did it.
Well, you know what's interesting in reviewing the recap of that game, Herbert hit a home run, Puckett hit a home run, Viola got the win, and Reardon got a save. Nothing much changed.
It sounds like the season, doesn't it?
Yeah, it adds up in a nutshell what the Twins accomplished that night of the Aquatennial Parade against the Yankees. They certainly carried on through right through the World Series in the 7th game.
Do you remember how they were saying that if they built a baseball stadium that held 55,000 people, that it would be the loneliest place outside of Cleveland?
You know, you remember those days when they called them the Twinkies, when people were ashamed to wear Twins caps, when they didn't really want to wear Twins jackets. People would look at them and go, you got a friend or someone you like related to somebody on this team?
The best line I ever heard, though, is a line I heard on Tom Bernard's show one morning. He said, some guy called in and he said, I've been a fan so long, I remember when they sang Feelings instead of the national anthem.
Again, we're looking at the scene in front of the state capitol where estimated 30,000 people, if not more, are waiting for the Twins' arrival. Of course, it'll be culminated right here at the steps of the state capitol. Governor Rudy Perpich, along with other representatives from the state of Minnesota. But the people they really want to hear from are the players themselves. It'll be their first opportunity to thank everyone along the parade route, both Minneapolis and St. Paul, for this incredible outpouring of emotion. Just a climax of a season where the fans have played just as big a role in this season as the players themselves.
You know, if they ever get here, there is a lineup. We are going to hear from those players, and I don't think we can hear from them enough.
I agree 100% what you're saying. They want it. We got a feeling of that last night at Southdale, just with Ken Herbeck and Steve Lombardozzi, a couple other players who showed up. I've never seen such emotion, not only from the little kids, but from the adults. The way they looked at these people, and there's nothing wrong with having heroes anymore, is there?
You know, Herbeck last night said the one thing he's always wanted is a ticker tape parade, that more than being a major league player and more than hitting a Grand World Series, he wanted a parade. I saw shots of him from back in Minneapolis when we were watching on the monitor. That is the happiest little boy I have ever seen.
And I think, you know what, Marcia, we were talking earlier today about one of the reasons why I think this team in particular doesn't have prima donnas. I think a lot of it has to do with these guys remember those long bus rides in the minor leagues. You know, you don't have too many players who make that jump right from high school to the professional ranks. They pay their dues. They do it in Class A ball in places that you've never heard of, and they made their way up. Unlike professional football, really, to a great extent, where a lot of these guys who play professional football start out as stars in high school, they're stars in college, they're #1 draft choices, and they move right on. They don't really have that situation where they're spending time. There's no minor league football, although some people said the USFL was minor league.
That's right.
But it's a real difference, and I think that's why you see this kind of feeling that exists on this Twins team, because all these guys, Bush and Gaetti, Puckett, Bernansky, right down the line, paid their dues somewhere along the line, and this is their reward today.
And I think one of the outpourings of love today for this team is because they don't seem like hired guns. They aren't have gun will travel. They own homes here. They built homes here. Bernansky the other morning was saying he is so angry at hearing about his state, Minnesota, being called second rate. He met his wife in Toledo when he was playing AAA ball for the Buckeyes when he was in the minor leagues for the Twins. This is a Minnesotan with his roots here right now.
Well,
you can see the love.
We're getting to Herbie and Kirby right now in front of the Capitol. Actually, this is downtown St. Paul now, I believe.
Is anybody doing any work today? I mean, could you get a package mailed, or could you go into a store and buy a pack of gum?
I wonder if the people who did have to go to work today, what it's going to be like for them to even try to get out of downtown Minneapolis or St. Paul, if this celebration is just going to continue into the night, and I think it'd probably be the latter.
Let's take a look at what does it look from up there, Deb?
Well, when you say 35,000, I think you're being very conservative. The crowd looks much more like 50,000. As you can see, just people packed into that park there in front of the state capitol. We've been watching the parade as it's moving along. It looks like it has just passed the area around Dale. We can see a flashing light, and it's starting to move toward the state capitol. We did notice, interestingly enough, that a lot of the Twins opted to stay in their cars and continue to wave at fans. And there were fans packed on the overpasses, waving at the Twins as they went past, even dropping confetti down upon them. You might not be able to get a good view of the traffic here, but we have noticed that cars have backed up on the Marion Avenue exit and gone over to the side, and people have actually, I don't know if they've left those cars and parked on the side there, or are still in their cars in hopes of being able to see the Twins as they come past. It looks like from our vantage point that the Twins are starting to come up the Marion Avenue ramp. We can see a St. Paul police car, followed by what looks like a Minneapolis police car, the WCCO radio entourage, a state patrol vehicle, and of course those Twins coming up the Marion Avenue ramp as they make their way over to Wabasha and Kellogg to the Civic Center, the staging area for the St. Paul Parade. Back to you, Marcia.
That's absolutely incredible. You know, I've always waited for the day when the Marion Street exit near the Capitol was turned into a parking lot.
Talking about crowd estimates, you're probably right. As I look beyond us here on top of our granite platform, this looks more like Taste of Minnesota back on the 4th of July than anything else that's ever taken place in front of the state capitol.
That's right.
Continue to look at the traffic as the Twins make their way into St. Paul area. But, you know, they had, 100,000 people out here for the Taste of Minnesota, I think, in one given night, Marcia. They may get close to that today.
You know, I think they probably will, because I think a lot of people from Minneapolis, when the parade went past them, simply somehow got over here. And, of course, the people of St. Paul, we've talked to people from Maplewood and people from outstate who seem to have waited their whole lives to see a bunch of young men who've accomplished something they've always wanted to accomplish, come up and just say, hi, we appreciate it.
And whose lives will never be the same again. You know, Debbie Ely did a story last night about Tim Laudner, about just going to the dry cleaners and some of the things that, the common everyday experiences that all of us go through. But for Laudner, I mean, other than perhaps Puckett and Herbeck, I don't think any of these guys have ever been bothered before. In fact, I remember a couple years ago when Gary Gaetti went out on the street and asked people to name the Twins' third baseman. They went, is that Roy Smalley? No, that's me. Do you think Eddie can do that today? Probably not. R.J. Fritz, take it away.
Mike Cubbage, right, Mark?
That's right.
We're just going to show you some of the scenes downtown St. Paul. We are located at 4th and Wabasha, and these people have been waiting here for hours, and it's just moments away before they will see their heroes, the Minnesota Twins. And I tell you, a lot of people have been very innovative here. They have brought step ladders so that they can get a good glimpse or a good look at some of their heroes. They are hanging from the rafters, as we said, from the parking lot beyond. Some people just came by here a short time ago. Herbig and Puckett were already here in the form of life-size posters. And they're wearing Twins hats, all sorts of Twins pennants and memorabilia here. And I'm looking right now. I can't see her, but I believe Cindy Hilger is somewhere down there with some folks. Cindy, are you there?
I am, but barely. The streets are crowded, as you can see. I mean, there's got to be hundreds of thousands of people down here. I've gathered a group of kids with me. Here we go. Kids Day in downtown St. Paul. We got thousands that have gotten out of school. You girls, where are you from? We're Hopkins. John Allen School. Hi, Carolyn. Hopkins. Why'd you come all the way from Hopkins to downtown St. Paul? We love the Twins. Yeah, we love the Twins. Now, you could have watched this on TV. Is this a lot more fun? I can't get a question, and these kids are pretty excited. I understand the Twins are almost downtown St. Paul. They can't get here too soon. We're going to go back to Don, Pat, and Dave in the studio.
Thanks, Cindy.
Cindy's the only one not adorned in cardinal red. How do you explain that? I noticed Ralph, Marcia, Mark out on the field.
Well, the way I explain it...
This is not cardinal red.
Yeah, the way I explain it is that that red is part of the Twins' uniform colors. Part of their official. Look behind you. You see that thing? Was it Twins?
And not
is
only,
that red or what?
And the Homer hanky.
And not only that, Dave, but my blue sweater's dirty.
Yeah, we've worn out all of our bright stuff.
You're going to have to vacate the studio.
You know, when we wore our red the first night, this was the first broadcast from outside the Dome, pre-game show, Game 1 of the World Series against the Cardinals, and we both had red on and had not thought about it, but we got back to the station and found out that something like 500 people had called and called us traitors. Because,
come on.
Yes, said that we were dressed in red, and obviously were showing who we were for in that game.
I'm glad I asked the question.
We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in just a moment.
Won the World Series. What are you going to do next? We're going to Disney World.
For Sam Breakstone's cottage cheese, the cream couldn't be too rich.
By Havemeyer, this is rich. By Sam Breakstone, this isn't rich. Tell Havemeyer it's richer, but not rich enough. Tell Havemeyer it took him long enough.
Because Sam was so demanding then, his all-natural cottage cheese is so smooth, rich, and creamy now.
And tell Havemeyer, you make a nice, rich cream.
In regular and low-fat styles.
A brand new phone service called LiveWire is bringing people together every day. LiveWire is like an old-fashioned party line that allows you to talk to a lot of people at the same time. It's a great way to exchange ideas, and LiveWire is so easy to use. Just call the number and talk. That's how I met Bill, and I couldn't be happier. LiveWire is your conversation connection. Why not try it and start making new friends today?
Call 1-976-5050. LiveWire is only 69 cents a minute.
We want to welcome you back. You know, when you look at the crowds out there, especially in St. Paul right now waiting, was it Garrison Keillor who said if the Minnesota Twins lose the World Series, Minnesotans will think it was their fault?
Yeah, Keillor's fault.
But look at these people now. They are waiting just as the Twins are arriving in St. Paul. There's the Capitol you see in the background.
The Homer
They've got the carpet rolled out, and there's Mark Rosen and Marcia Flew.
Marcia's added another layer here. It's getting a little colder.
By the time we're done, I'm going to borrow Dan Gladden's fur coat.
Yeah, we should point out to you, Dave Moore, that these are still the twin colors, too. They're red and blue. Remember that, Dave.
And we've got this world champion shirt that I borrowed from Mary back at the station.
That's right.
God, it looks like one great big traffic
Kessler is
accident,
getting ready
doesn't it?
below the steps where we are here on top of the state capitol with some of the interviews. Pat, take it away.
Well, I got to tell you, Mark, the highway patrol folks and all the security folks who are here are saying they've had no problems whatsoever. They're estimating now that they've got at least 250,000 people, 250,000 people, and they say there are tens of thousands more people coming down here. Now, I've been at the Capitol for 10 years covering politics here. I've never, of course, seen a crowd this big. And, of course, I've never seen a crowd this big that wasn't angry about something here at the Capitol. One of the politicians came down the steps here earlier and said, my gosh, look at all these voters. I couldn't believe that either. I'm going to go down here for a second. Is anybody here who is not from the Twin Cities? Who came from out of town? Where are you from? Rochester. Rochester. You came up for this. Where are you from?
Winona State University.
Is it worth it? Yeah. It's hard to talk to these folks, of course. We can talk, go in and out of the crowd. They said that they've come here all day long. They're going to stay as long as it takes down here. You know what? I'm going to ask them one other question. No, I don't think I will. Let me tell you, I was driving here, and I saw 100,000 people driving up here, and I don't think I saw one person park at a yellow line. I think that has something to say about Minnesota. Debbie Ely, what have you got to say?
Well, Pat, Dale Dovish has just positioned us so we can see the traffic as it's just passing the Civic Center. It's led off by about a half dozen police and state patrol vehicles. It's slowly making its way up Kellogg, and in about a block or so, it will be winding around onto Wabasha. This parade entourage goes back about 3 blocks. We can see it going right past the St. Paul Cathedral there. As you can see, slowly making its way up. There are people who are along Kellogg Street there waving at the parade as it goes by. Of course, that isn't the actual official parade route. The parade route starts down there on Wabasha and goes up Wabasha, winding its way over to the state capitol.
You know, I don't think I've ever been down here before when I've seen so many happy people. And they seem to be willing to stay here all day, which seems to be about what they're going to have to do at the rate this parade is going.
Well, I know one thing, Marcia, another strong gust of wind, and we're going to end up in the middle of this crowd. It's a little blustery up.
The crowd is warm down there, and there were a lot of very unrealistic people. When we first came over here, it was about 11:30, there were people sitting on blankets with picnic baskets and little chairs thinking they were going to have a nice time all to themselves. Pretty soon, it's like, move it, buddy. I mean, I'm nice and I'm polite, but move it. This is a real crowd.
Absolutely. I'm also thinking about this Minnesota Twins team, what happens after this parade. Not so much thinking about next year. Who cares about that right now in terms of the baseball team? We want to savor this for as long as possible, but will there be a temptation to sit back and write those books and do all the promotions that are going to come up that every champion is usually gets that opportunity? You know, I think a number of the Twins will become very marketable after this season, Marcia.
Yes, but I don't know what kind of a book you can write. People want controversy in a baseball book. They want to hear the behind the scenes and how so-and-so really couldn't stand so-and-so and how he was really trying to undercut them all during the season. The one thing the Detroit Free Press said, I think, was the truest thing said during the playoffs in the World Series. They had never seen a team that liked each other as much as this team. The fact that there hasn't been a star system, which doesn't mean there aren't going to be a lot of millionaires, but there isn't a star system so far. And maybe these are the days that we should savor, the days when the team is still naive enough to like each other and to have no petty jealousies. But right now, let's go down to where they're having a real good time in downtown St. Paul with Cindy Hilger. Cindy?
Thanks, Marcia. You know, we got smart. I got on a pedestal here, and I'm able to see all the way up and down Wabasha, and I can't believe the number of people that are down here. It's wall-to-wall people. We understand that the motorcade is just up on Kellogg, ready to turn the corner. I don't know how they're going to turn the corner. I don't know if you can see over my shoulder, but it is absolutely crazy. They've got a couple of trucks up there, meter maid trucks up there, just to kind of clear the way. But right now, as I look down Wabasha, it is just wall-to-wall people. There isn't even a path or an alleyway to get through. You can see the crowd here is really anxious to see the Twins. Ralph, how about you? I don't know if you can hear me, Ralph, but you've probably got a little better vantage point, a little quieter over there.
Cindy, I really did not know that. I don't believe there are this many people in Minnesota. There have to be some here from some other states. I like what Pat Kessler said. I did not believe there were 250,000 people up there, but now I'm beginning to believe it. And I like the line about the politician. But I'll tell you one thing, whoever that politician was, what do you suppose his chances would be against running against a Kirby Puckett or a Bronansky or a Herbeck or a Gaetti or governor of this state? Rudy or any of them for that matter. I think it might be the first time in the history of Minnesota politics that the incumbent, in this case, Rudy Perpich, would not get a vote.
Ralph, if you can take a look now, I can finally see some action down the street. We've got flashing lights. We've got the St. Paul Vulcans out. That's the first car in this motorcade. The confetti is starting to fly. There's toilet paper in the air right now. Feels like we're in the middle of a blizzard. We're going to go back up now to Debbie Ely in the chopper, I believe. Maybe, Debbie, you can update us a little bit better in terms of where the players are. I see the chopper hovering.
Well, Cindy, I can. I see the Vulcan vehicle that you're talking about and the police vehicles following it. It looks as though the players are just starting to wind around Kellogg Street to get right onto Wabasha. I see a couple of lead vehicles, a couple of pickup trucks that look like there might be some of the Twins entourage in that. And the parade seems to go back about 2 blocks back, perhaps past St. Peter there, and I can see all of this confetti now starting to shower down onto the police vehicles and the parade as it starts winding its way up Wabasha. Back to you, Cindy.
I don't know how much confetti there is going to be left by the time the Twins get here. We've been standing here now for an hour and a half, and it's just been a constant stream of confetti. I surely hope the Twins get here soon, although the beginning of this motorcade is just creeping by us. They can't be going more than a half mile an hour or so. It's going to be quite a while, I'm afraid, before they're actually up to the state capitol. It's quite a scene here. We've got people literally hanging out of the different floors of the parking ramps. There are people standing up on top of St. Paul City Hall. People way up on the 9th and 10th floors of the various apartment buildings that are here in the corner of 4th and Wabasha. It's incredible. It's unbelievable.
Cindy, you and I are standing only a couple of feet apart, and I can't hear a word you're saying.
I can kind of read your lips, Ralph.
This is really worse than the Metrodome, and the players haven't even arrived yet.
I know. It is going to be just absolutely crazy once the players do get here. The people right now, they're cheering for the police motorcade. That we can't even see the players yet. All we can see are some of the Vulcans in the lead vehicle. I would hope that the players are starting to turn the corner. There's just too many people here for us to see that far, however.
Already, parts of the tons of confetti that have been shredded for this parade have begun to come down from the buildings in downtown St. Paul. The sirens are sounding. We can hear those now, and apparently the players are right around the corner, Cindy.
I sure hope so. I think we're going to try to get an aerial view. Maybe that'll give us a little bit better picture in terms of where the players actually are. As we've said, all we can see from where we are standing is the motorcade, the Vulcans, and some of the police vehicles. We're going to go back up into that chopper now where Debbie Ely is standing by. Deb?
Well, Cindy, it's hard for me to see the faces. I see some pickup trucks, and I can only assume that is part of the Twins entourage. It looks as though the convertibles containing the players are perhaps about a half track away from Wabasha. I'll throw it back to you, Cindy.
All right, we had a little bit of trouble hearing you. I think you said that they're about a half a block away from making the corner. I certainly hope so. The people here are just anxiously awaiting. A lot of the people have been down here since 9 o'clock this morning. They came to St. Paul because they wanted to see the motorcade. And then a lot of these people are going to be headed up to the state capitol to hear from the Twins, although as we listen to Mark and Marcia, I don't know that there's going to be much room for these people if they do try to head up the street. The motorcade moving very slowly. It's not going more than, I'd say, 3 or 4 feet every few minutes. It's virtually stopped here in the corner of 4th and Wabasha. And we're going to try to go back up to Debbie Ely right now. We hopefully have our audio problems figured out. Deb? Again, we're just waiting. We've got the Vulcans slowly approaching us. The crowd is screaming as the Vulcans pass by. The Vulcans are being pelted with confetti and toilet paper, just everything you can imagine. Ralph, what do you see from back there?
Well, I don't see much more than you do. I was just thinking, but nothing but people, Cindy, and I was just thinking, I'm supposed to go over to the state capitol after the parade passes here. Good luck, right?
Not a chance.
Unless I can spread wings, or Dale Dobish and the chopper can drop a rope down for me and swing me over that way.
I don't know. They're almost an hour behind schedule right now. I'm not sure when the state capitol rally was supposed to begin, but I think it's going to take them at least an hour to wind or make their way up Wabasha. There isn't even a pathway right now. That's what these the police vehicles are trying to do, just clear a path, but it's almost impossible. That's why they're moving so slowly. I mean, it could be another 10 or 15 minutes before we actually see even 100 to 200 yards away from us, and it has only moved probably that distance in the last 10 minutes. It is just creeping, I think, is the best word that you can use to describe the progress of this motorcade right now.
I don't know if we can get a shot of the big parking ramp across the street from us here, but Cindy, the fans there are just, they're packed in there like sardines, and they're beginning to stomp their feet and bang on the metal side of that building and making all kinds of noise awaiting the Minnesota Twins.
You know, just when you think you can't cram any more people up there, you see a few more heads popping out. I wonder if they're going to try to limit that at some point. There's got to be a couple thousand people just sticking their heads out of this parking ramp right in the corner of 4th and Wabasha. Finally, we've got some action here. We see some of these police vehicles passing right in front of us now. However, we still don't see any of the Twins players. They may be turning the corner. It's just too hard to tell from where we're standing. We're going to try to go back up into the helicopter again. Deb, can you hear me?
Yes, you're right, Cindy. They are starting to wind around the corner, but it is a very slow procession. Interestingly enough, I'm watching some people on top of City Hall. I don't know if those are workers or what, but they're up there hurling what looks like rolls of toilet paper. Those are those long white streamers that you're seeing trickle down there onto the street below. The parade is moving very slow. I think when you said 3 to 4 feet a minute, Cindy, that was probably a correct estimation. Below on the ground in front of City Hall, you can see this sea of white that we saw so often in downtown Minneapolis. It truly is an awesome sight, this parade, which moves so slowly, starting to creep around the corner onto Wabasha with players anxious to meet their public here in St. Paul.
Deb, you had a chance to take a look at the crowd in downtown Minneapolis. How would you compare the crowd down here? I mean, there's got to be a couple 100,000 people down here, wouldn't you say?
I'd say that the crowd...
As you can see now, we are at the corner of Wabasha and 4th right now, just rounding the corner of Kellogg in St. Paul, Wabasha and 4th. Various shots of the people who have gotten sort of reserved seating, 1 story above ground or more. The Vulcans are trying to clear a path, but not having much success in doing so.
We won't have a final count on the number of people, I'm quite sure, until probably the end of today. But you have to say that a good guess would be somewhere in the range of 200 to 250,000 people just at around the state capitol itself.
Another 150 to 200,000 there. And just my guess, and I suppose all we can do is guess. What do you think? Between 250 and 500,000. I think the original estimate of 1 million is not outrageous.
And that would be hard to believe. Now, we are getting a view right here of some of the players as they're just rounding the corner.
Tom Kelly right in front.
Tom Kelly leading off the parade.
Relief pitcher Keith Atherton and his wife Christy. I bet Keith is warm. I bet he's one of the players who thought ahead. Is that a mink coat that Keith has on there?
A lot of the players opted not to take the bus and rode in the convertibles on 94 over to St. Paul. So you have to imagine that. And you can tell the wind is really blowing out there today because just by the way the confetti is falling. It is a windy, cold day. I mean, at least the sun is bright and shiny, but it is cold out there. It doesn't appear that they're going to move very fast at all through St. Paul. Not that they did in Minneapolis either, but they are at a virtual standstill at this point. And as you can see, people lining the buildings and lining the streets and getting their first glimpse right now of some of the players.
Can you see
Keith Atherton, his wife Christine.
And then Don Baylor and his fiancée.
Right behind, Becky Giles. And behind him, Juan Berenguer. And they put them in alphabetical order, which I suppose was the best way to do it. But if you just go down the list of players, Berenguer, Blyleven, Bernansky, Bush, Butera, Davidson, you can get an idea, if you know the players and their last name, exactly how it's going to stack up here. There's Don Baylor and his fiancée, right behind Keith Atherton. One of the things the fans really want to do is just shake the hand or somehow touch the players. The St. Paul police, by the way, say they have absolutely no idea how many people are downtown. And not only do they have no idea, but they have no idea how they're going to get them out of downtown when this thing is all over. There's Juan Berenguer in the sunglasses. People just want to touch these. These Twins players are heroes. And can you imagine for the children who are at this parade, who will remember this for years and years to come, that they were there, that they touched them, that they somehow got near Tom Bernansky and
standing up,
Juan Berenguer and all of them. It's going to be a childhood memory forever.
You see, Colleen Bernansky has not taken that whistle out of her mouth since Game 1 in Detroit.
Oh, and were they ever excited, those two? They've been married, she said, for 2 years and had their anniversary not too long ago. So this was quite a thrill. And
yesterday, wasn't it?
Well, I think it was the day before, actually. We're going to bring Cindy and Ralph back in. They're standing by, as you know, out on the streets in St. Paul. Although we don't see them, if they can hear us, go ahead.
We're here. This motorcade now is finally picking up again. It came to a complete halt for about 4 or 5 minutes. Let's just take a listen to the crowd if we can. So many of whom have been out here 4 or 5 hours just waiting to see are finally getting what they came out here for, a glimpse of the Twins.
It sounds like they're playing Wave the Homer Hanky in the background there, Cindy. Do they have the speaker set up?
They're playing something, but it's so loud right now, it's hard to even tell what it is. They've got a loudspeaker going. Yep, they're telling the crowd to wave their Homer Hankies, and that's exactly what the crowd's doing.
Well, we've been talking to you, and you've been describing the events. We've had a picture of the state capitol and some of the dance lines, some of the activities going on there. Do you have a view of any of the players? Can you see players, Cindy?
Finally, we can see them, but there's so many people that are sitting on their friends' shoulders that it's kind of how we're peering through groups of 2 at a time here. Yeah, we can, as a matter of fact, although it's still quite a ways down the block. And again, the motorcade has almost come to a complete halt. It's moving so slowly, it's going to take quite a while.
We did see a couple of Twins earlier on the monitor, but those are with the long-angle lenses that we have in the cameras, and I know from my vantage point right here, I have not yet seen a Twins player, but they are somehow making a little progress here down Wabasha, and this parade was supposed to go from noon until 2, and boy, I tell you what, my estimation now would be closer to midnight tonight before they get this thing.
Probably will. We saw Tom Kelly, Ralph. He's probably taking it one parade at a time, don't you think?
Here we go. Now we can see Tom Kelly. He's standing up, waving. He's got a big smile on his face, waving his Homer Hanky.
You see the man in the white hat and the blue M jacket.
Yep.
That's the #1 Twin. That's Carl Pohlad. That's the team owner.
Oh, wait a minute. Then I'm looking at the wrong person here. I'm sorry. It's really hard to tell who's who.
There's Don Baylor and Juan Berenguer behind him.
I wonder if Don Berenguer's youngest or second youngest child is with him.
I think his daughter, right, sitting next to him. He has a baby who looked to be not more than 7 or 8 weeks old that was in St. Louis.
And then a child is just now starting to walk, and at the game on Sunday, the child was dressed in a miniature Juan Berenguer outfit, replete with name and number 40 on his back.
Right behind Juan is Patty Blyleven. And there's Carl Pohlad. Looks like he's signing a few autographs. And who would have thought he would have taken to it as well as he has?
There we go. Now we're getting a good view of some of these people. You're right. There's Carl Pohlad standing up in the car, waving a Homer Hanky, saying hello to the crowd. He had sat down for a few minutes to sign some autographs. He's back up. The crowd's loving it.
We can step back a couple of steps for a little plug behind us. Thank you very much. But don't worry, the Twins are on their way.
Don't worry, the Twins are on their way. We've got the microphone telling the crowd they can't come too soon.
There's a good look at Carl Pohlad. And, you know, Cindy, we talk about people like Kent Herbeck saying that he has dreamed of this all his life, being in a parade like this. And I think it's a broadcaster's dream, too, when you go into a sports broadcasting.
This is unbelievable.
It really is. It's just unbelievable. It's our first to do, and we hope it's certainly not the last.
You see some of the old newsreels from New York City when the Yankees used to win. This is nothing short of that. There's Mr. Pohlad greeting some of the kids that have come out to say hello, signing some autographs.
I was told earlier that the parade would be moving from 8 to 10 miles per hour, and I'm not sure how fast it was in Minneapolis. We clocked it. I know it was very slow, but they're just barely allowing the vehicles to move. It's just at a snail's pace right now.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, there's maybe a path just wide enough to get a car through.
Everyone wants to just get up there and either touch the vehicle, if not the twin that's in the car. It's just, it's mayhem.
This is crazy.
There's Carl Pohlad getting up in his vehicle and waving his homer hanky, much to the happiness, joy of this crowd.
They've got to be overwhelmed by this.
Ralph, if you can hear me, how is Tom Kelly going to handle all this notoriety? I mean, here's a man who loves his anonymity.
I'm sorry, Pat. I think you were talking about Carl Pohlad, were you not?
Tom Kelly and all
Tom Kelly. Yes, he does love his anonymity, but the anonymity is nowhere to be found in Minneapolis and St. Paul today.
We've got a nice shot of Don Baylor right now, if you can see him.
We've got Tom Kelly right in front of us. I don't know if he's cracked a smile all day. We haven't seen one since he's been here in St. Paul. He looks overwhelmed.
Yeah, we are really not near a monitor, Pat and Don, so if you can sort of describe what's happening once in a while, we can just point out things that are going on from our vantage point right now.
Well, this is Don Baylor and his fiancée, Becky Giles. Now, I wonder if she had any idea what she was in for when she met this young man, huh? There are some of the people in the buildings in downtown St. Paul.
You speak of Don Baylor. I wonder what his thoughts are. You know, so many twins and professional athletes in the past have just made residence in Minnesota. I know Don Baylor is just so impressed with Minnesotans, he can't believe it.
And Juan Berenguer, who I believe now still lives right outside of Detroit, do you think we'll get him to move here as well? He said he was thinking about it at one time.
I'm seeing a monitor in the distance. Who is that now?
That was Juan Berenguer.
Juan Berenguer certainly has become one of the most popular Minnesota Twins in a short period of time. And very demonstrative fellow on the mound, and I tell you what, he's just being adored by the Minnesota Twins fans right now.
And Bert Blyleven and Patty Blyleven right there behind him.
Bert Blyleven, of course, came to the Minnesota Twins as just a youngster, an 18-year-old, and he has just matured over the years and has become more of a pitcher than a thrower. And I tell you, he was just such an integral part of this Minnesota Twins team. They all were, but boy, I tell you, Bert was right there front and center all year.
Ralph, this is Don. Do you hear me?
I do hear you, yes.
Ralph, Bert Blyleven already has a World Series ring. What is the protocol? Will he put one on one hand and the new one on another, or will one replace the other?
Well, that's a good question, but I think right now he would just keep one on one hand and one on the other. I don't know what I would do if I were him, but I know that he's just really proud of this one because he was so in love with this Minnesota Twins team. Even when he left, he wasn't happy with the money he was making with, Calvin Griffith just couldn't afford to pay. But boy, I tell you what, I called him in Cleveland when he came back, and he said, I can't tell you how happy I am to be back with the Minnesota Twins.
It appears, Ralph, from this view anyway, that parade has come to a dead halt.
Oh, it has, completely, Pat. This is Cindy. Juan Berenguer has stopped in front of us now. Don Baylor's right in front of him. They're not moving. In fact, they're being mobbed by kids looking for autographs, and they're obliging. They've got pen in hand. There we go. Now they're picking it up again. A lot of kids, just unbelievable, though, the number of the children down here that have gotten out of school to come down and see the Twins.
That's Tom Bernansky, by the way, and his wife Colleen, who are right behind the Blylevens.
All right, there's Bert Blyleven passing right by us.
And Randy Bush and his wife Kathy, the outfielder Randy Bush.
Let's see what kind of car Sal Butera is going to be in. He ought to be next in line or so.
In case you didn't hear, you two, Butera's car apparently caught on fire when some of the confetti reached the engine. They had to evacuate the car, and no one was injured, but the fire department was called out.
Chance of Bruno here as Tom Bernansky holds up a sign that says Twins Magic, then waves his hanky, and another cheer from the crowd.
You know, Ralph, this morning they were saying they didn't expect quite as many people in St. Paul because they thought everybody would go to the state capitol, but man, there's got to be more people here than they expected. This is just, you can't even breathe in this crowd. It's so heavy. There's so many people down here.
Well, I'll tell you what, St. Paul is crazy on St. Patrick's Day, but it's never been like this.
I don't think
They'll never be able to match this.
No.
We've got a nice view now of Gary Gaetti, the third baseman.
Okay, sure, we see him now, too.
And his wife, Debbie.
In the car right in front is Mark Davidson and George Frazier. Two guys are happy to be members of the Twins in 1987.
Gary Gaetti, the Gold Glove winner, and really this year the man with the golden bat, hit some real key home runs early in the playoffs and just continued from there for the Twins.
You know, Ralph, these people just want to touch the players, don't they?
I'm sorry, Pat, I can't hear you there.
They just want to touch these players, the fans.
Oh, they just want to yeah, if they can just get close. I mean, they're standing hundreds deep here. They're just barely moving, and the fans won't let them continue.
One thing we see that has happened between Minneapolis and St. Paul, and I guess it's understandable that Debbie Gaetti has taken the kids to safer climbs, and Gary is alone in the car now.
You just saw Greg Gagne and his wife Mickey go by, and they appear to have picked up the pace a little bit.
Dan and Janice Gladden and their daughter Ashley.
I'm going to break in here while I hear just a little bit of a lull and tell you folks back in the studio that if you're looking for any sort of response from us, don't expect it, because the crowd noise is just building to a crescendo as the players continue now. Kent Herbeck is coming by.
We've got Kent Herbeck right in front of us now.
It is deafening at this point.
Yep, it's hard to even hear what you're saying, but the crowd really picked it up when they saw Herbeck. He's standing up. He's got a big black fur coat on. A crowd pleaser.
Tim and Tammy Laudner there. And Jimmy Wiesner is riding along with his family in Kent Herbeck's car, as Kent would have it.
Jimmy Wiesner is just he's a super story in himself. I mean, he's been the clubhouse manager for the Minnesota Twins for a short time, and he's worked in the opposing club room. And I'll tell you what, all the opposing teams that come in here love Jimmy Wiesner, and he's been with them so doggone long. I was going to do a story with him a couple of weeks, into the playoffs, and Jimmy said, RJ, please don't do the story. I mean, he said, I just want this championship so bad. I don't want anything to distract this Minnesota Twins ball club. He's just a great guy and just part of the unity on this team. It goes right down the line.
It's only fitting that he should be in this parade.
We just had a shot of Steve Lombardozzi and his wife Jill and their 18-month-old Tony, who I can't believe is so calm and cool and collected in the midst of all of this.
Probably used to this by now.
Al and Sophie Newman, Al with the police officer's hat on.
Signing autographs as he goes by. There's a trooper.
Another one of the terrific acquisitions from Montreal. Another great move by Andy McPhail. There's Nux.
Joe Niekro.
We have never had a snowstorm with this much activity in Minnesota.
Joe Niekro's got his son with him, riding along in the convertible.
You know, a lot of these people have been out here since 9 this morning, and they were complaining that they were getting chilly, but that was until the motorcade started. I don't think anybody's feeling the cold right now.
And, of course, tomorrow all of these players are on their way to Washington, D.C. to have lunch with the president.
That's right.
So it just keeps getting better.
There's Tom Nieto and Karen, his wife.
I know why this parade is taking so long. Joe Niekro has to sign so many emery boards on his way through here.
Is that what he's doing? Can you guys see that?
That looks like Tony Oliva.
It is. It is. Here's a guy that's waited a long time. His whole family is in that. His son.
And Kirby Puckett's got his hat on. That's the hat Gary Gaetti gave him.
Aviator's cap. Tanya, his wife, I think, she had been sitting down in the seat during the Minneapolis trip.
There's Jeff and his wife, Steve.
We're looking at, I think that's Jeff Reardon. I see a monitor away in the distance. But Tony Oliva passed here earlier, and of course Tony was involved in the 1965 World Series team that won the American League Championship and lost to the Dodgers in 7 games. And Tony said, this is the second time around. They say that love is better the second time around, so is baseball.
Got Jeff Reardon and his wife Phoebe right in front of us right now. The motorcade's picking up steam a little bit. I think they're moving more than 3 or 4 feet an hour now.
Dan Schatzstater and Nancy. And their son and son. Roy Smalley and Christine and their twins. Their 2 twins and son.
Roy and Chris and the gang, and boy, I tell you what, you talk about people who have meant a lot to a franchise. Roy Smalley, he of course comes from that baseball-rich tradition with Gene Mauch, his uncle, and Roy Smalley Sr., who played with the Chicago Cubs for so many years. and class people. You just can't find a nicer person than Roy Smalley, and he knows that he's nearing the end of his career. And I chatted with Roy about possibly going into managing, and he has other options that he could probably choose, but he's thinking about perhaps managing someday.
And you know that he is the first one in his family of all of those managers and players to ever make it to a World Series, right?
Yeah, Don, I think we added it up the other day. I think it's like 58 years or something of that nature, 68, whatever. And his was the first appearance in the World Series. And we were so happy when he came through with that base hit, that double right off the bat.
And he was excited, too. We're looking for Les Straker. He's supposed to be right behind Roy Smalley. That's Sal Butero's car, though, if you can see the sign.
But that's not Sal.
No, his car, that's the one that blew up, but too much confetti was thrown.
Now there's Sal. Now we got a shot of him. And his wife, Gina.
I've never seen so many happy people. This is great. I've never been involved in anything like this, but I hope I am again, because I think Dave Moore said the other day, he said, what are we going to do on New Year's Eve this year?
Or what do we do if they win it next year?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, we'll find something to do if they win it next year. Let's just cross that bridge when we get there and hope they do it.
Coming up behind Sal and Gina will be Lester and Hibase Straker.
Can you imagine what's going through these players' minds as they go through this parade and
It'd be fun
all
to
these
hear from
people?
them.
I mean, this isn't real.
No, it isn't. It isn't. This is like a dream.
I imagine that the Strakers have seen something akin to this, but with their Venezuelan national soccer team, not with baseball.
I'm sorry, Don, what was that?
I said the Strakers may have seen something akin to this, but not relative to baseball, but with their Venezuelan national soccer team.
Well, yeah, maybe they've been told, you know, that white stuff is snow. I don't know.
It just keeps coming down.
Well, I know he didn't seem to mind the cold in St. Louis. He was pitching without his T-shirt that night.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm happy the people that are at home get a chance to see this on television, but boy, I'll tell you, being here is just unbelievable. It's the only thing I can say.
Ralph, when you hear the crescendo of applause as the next car gets to you, it is because Frank and Kathy Viola and family are arriving, the MVP of the 1987 World Series.
He would wear his gloves, Frank's son,
Who do we have
except
here? Is
that
that
he's got
Viola?
to suck his
Who is
thumb
that?
there. He's so nervous in that crowd. I don't blame him.
Don, who are we showing here?
Yeah, you're seeing Kathy and Frank Viola and their son.
Most valuable player, Frank Viola. The kid with the Eastern accent who's rapidly having become a Minnesotan.
We got a lot of Eastern accents on the team this year. We've got
But you notice they're becoming more Midwestern all the time?
Yes, that's right. We've got the two from New York. I think we've got Butera and Viola, both from New York. We've got three people from Maine, Massachusetts, rather. Gagney, Reardon, and Lombardozzi.
Frank Viola, I'm telling you, the guy who a couple of years ago was a good pitcher, had a lot of talent, but he got down on himself when things would go wrong. He'd get down on his teammates, and that's all behind him now as he gets a big round of applause here as he stands and waves his hat. And now he's developed a change-up and has just become one of the premier pitchers in either the American or National League. Winningest pitcher, a left-hander in the last 4 years in the major leagues.
His wife, Kathy, by the way, is from Minnesota, so only half his team's from the East.
That's right.
This is Dick Martin, by the way.
Their car
And
is
Diane Martin.
You see, I think that's a windsock here, and it is windy, it is blustery, and the winds are swirling the confetti around here at 4th and Wabasha. No one's paying any attention to the weather whatsoever. It could really be snowing, and people wouldn't know the difference. They wouldn't care.
No, I really think they've forgotten about how chilly it is. We're really in a wind tunnel right here in 4th and Wabasha. This has to be one of the windiest corners in downtown St. Paul, but nobody's noticing.
Mayor George Latimer says that is the windiest corner in America.
America, huh?
Cindy, by the way, we should point out, is wearing gloves. I'm from the Bud Grant School of Broadcasting. No gloves here, Cindy.
Wayne Terwilliger and his wife, Lynn. And you saw Dick Such and Nancy Such just before them.
Pitching coach. He's the guy you see run out to the mound occasionally to check on the pitchers. He runs out to the mound before Tom Kelly does.
Tries to calm them down.
Did he already come through?
Don and Pat, what do we have next? It's really hard for us to see right here.
Well, we have a shot at the state capitol, and then we're switching around to the downtown area where we have a child being held up by a proud daddy wearing a Twins sweatshirt. Now, we're going to see a lot of that in the coming months. And as the weather turns colder, that may be the official garb of the state of Minnesota come the month of November.
This is the official truck this is the one carrying the mayors, Don Frazier and George Latimer, Carl Polad, Calvin Griffith, some of those people aboard.
Andy McPhail's there, and you see him wearing a white hat on the right side and the beige corduroy coat.
Anyone who's just tuned in, maybe in a hotel or something from out of town wondering what's going on, this is just a typical Tuesday noon-hour lunch break here for Minnesotans.
Hey, let me tell you guys something, and tell everyone else in our audience that the Minneapolis police say they are turning everyone out of the city center in downtown Minneapolis now, and they're going to close that place down for the day. There were just so many people in there that there was no way that the police on hand and the security team on hand could handle that at all. But they are holding the people out of the city center, and it's not exactly an evacuation, but they are moving people out and closing them down.
Now, I don't know that we're going to have that problem here. As I said earlier, a lot of the people that came to this area on 4th and Wabasha came here because they also want to head up to the state capitol. So I think what you're going to see as soon as this motorcade has passed by here, a lot of people walking up Wabasha and heading up to the state capitol. But I don't know what kind of a spot they're going to find up there. I think it's about as crowded there as it is down here.
Well, they were afraid of structural damage in some of the buildings. They had so many people in them in Minneapolis, and I'm assuming that the same problem could occur in St. Paul.
It's the parking ramps. There are people literally just hanging off the sides of parking ramps. There have got to be several thousand in the parking ramp just across the street from where we are right now. And it's really hard to tell up Wabasha. We really don't have a good view of that, but I would assume it's the same situation the further up Wabasha you go.
Well, we're looking at a shot right now of some of the parking lots, and it is jammed.
You betcha.
I believe Rudy Perpish gave the government employees a half a day off, did he not, today? That was real good. Everyone else got the whole day off.
Yeah.
Well, these were the non-essential employees.
How do they determine that?
Well, I'm still trying to figure out who the non-essential employees were, and if you are one,
do you really
does that bother you?
That's right.
You know, we talked yesterday. Dr. Joyce Brothers said that all Minnesotans are going to have a letdown one of these days, and it could happen Wednesday or Thursday, but well, I'll tell you, we're enjoying it now.
Ralph, as I said earlier, I'm amazed at all the kids that are down here. I mean, I'd estimate that 3/4 of the people that are at least standing around us on 4th and Wabasha are kids, 4th, 5th, 6th graders, a lot of whom have probably never even seen a Twins game, but they wanted to come out here and just get a glimpse of what the Twins look like, and the fans are now starting to head out of our area, headed up to the state capitol. We're going to go up in the air now where Debbie Ely is standing by in the helicopter. Debbie.
Cindy, it looks like from my vantage point that what's passing you now is the very tail end of the parade, the police who are bringing up the rear. The front of the parade has passed the Dayton Skyway. The Skyway that connects Dayton is about a block past that, north of that. The one thing that impresses me from up here is what Paul Ridgway, the parade promoter, was trying to do, and that was to make it colorful. From where we're positioned, you can see so much red, white, and blue, and that's the one thing he wanted to create. He wanted people to wear red, white, and blue. He wanted them to bring their pennants and to bring those newspaper placards that were printed in the St. Paul and Minneapolis papers this morning. I can see the Cedar Avenue Bridge. Now, you can't see it from this point right now, but ahead on the Cedar Avenue Bridge, people are just packed on the northern side of that bridge, or I should say the side that goes with traffic going north, waiting for that parade entourage to come up their direction. It is just a sea of people. Back to you, Cindy.
Well, Debbie, I wish if we can get a camera turned around here, I'm going to get off this podium here and just kind of walk through the streets if you can. Sean, there we go.
You're taking your life in your own hands there,
I know.
Cindy.
We have got confetti 5, 6, 7 inches deep here on the corner of 4th and Wabasha. I don't know who's going to clean this mess up, but they've got quite a job ahead of them. Ralph, I'm going to toss it back to you. I'm going to get out of this mess.
I just said you're taking your life in your own hands, didn't I? There was a huge bus that just passed by here, one of those big cutoff buses where the top is cut off and a lot of the dignitaries in there. St. Paul Mayor George Latimer was yelling, "Hey, RJ, we're finally #1." And I saw Howard Fox in there and General Manager Andy McPhail of the Twins. So I guess the parade here at 4th and Wabasha is about complete. And at this point, I think we'll throw it back to Don and Pat.
All right, Ralph, thanks. Boy, you could really tell the wind is blowing out there with that confetti. Unbelievable.
The crowds are just packed into the street there, just packed into Wabasha. And they've still got many turns and convolutions to make. They have to go up to 10th, they have to take a right, they have to go down to Cedar, then they have to come back up on the outside, and you saw the overpass there.
Well, it's going to take a while. The rally was scheduled to begin at 2 o'clock. As you can see, we're almost up to 2:15, and they're not even close. So let's go back out to Mark and Marcia, who are standing by waiting at the Capitol.
All right, Pat and Don, remember a week ago when we were standing outside of Busch Stadium and you were complaining it was a little chilly out?
Oh, babe.
That was a heat wave compared to what we're feeling up here. Marcia and I have been standing up here for a couple hours, standing at a place where actually I think any other day we'd probably be arrested for standing up here.
You're exactly right. And we would step off into the crowd, too, but we have about 6 inches on either side of us. We'll try to get a little shot of that later. We are absolutely isolated above the crowd here. Speaking of the crowd, there's been a little bit of craziness going on. We'll probably show you the pictures later.
There we are.
There we are. That's us, up there.
Hi there.
We're the statues on top of the monument or something like that. I don't know.
These people have been so patient. We're going to hear an explosion out of these folks when the Twins arrive here. I think more than we've ever heard throughout this parade, for no other reason the fact that they've been waiting the longest to finally see the Twins in person.
They're real good-natured, and I like that. And also, I can't say enough about the state troopers and the St. Paul police who have been working this crowd. You can't, let's get a shot of this crowd and give you an idea. You're absolutely shoulder to shoulder. And some of the people found that after about an hour and a half of it, they really couldn't take it. They had enough. They would signal somebody who would signal somebody ahead and signal somebody ahead, and pretty soon a state patrolman would go through the crowd and get that person. A path would be cleared, and they'd bring them out. It was, you can see what I'm talking about here. Try to find somebody in there who might be a little nervous or claustrophobic, but the crowd has been helping the officers find the people who are really uncomfortable and would rather be home watching it on TV.
It's been handled very, very well.
Yeah.
Cindy and RJ, over to you.
Go. I think we're back on. What do you think?
I don't know. I can't even hear myself. It's yours, guys. Cindy and Ralph.
I tell you, there's nothing like a parade in St. Paul after winning a World Series, and let's hope we have many more to come.
I want to do something here real quick just to show you how much confetti was thrown. This is just at our feet.
What are you doing?
All the way down Wabasha, we've got confetti this thick, and it's just been snowing confetti.
I'll tell you what. Mark and Marcia, I don't know if they estimated the crowd at 250,000 or what over there, but they ain't seen nothing yet because these people are headed that way, and they're going to have 1 million people over there.
It's going to be crazy. I guess we're going to say goodbye from here and let Marcia and Mark take it over.
Before we get mobbed, let's throw it somewhere.
Okay, I'll tell you what, we really cannot see the end of the crowd anymore. There was a time at which you could make an estimate because you could really see where the crowd stopped and the grass and the sidewalks began. That time is absolutely, they're using other people's shoulders, whereas we have a marble pedestal.
They've been entertained throughout the late morning and early afternoon by songs that we've become very familiar at the Dome. Everyone has, I think, been in a real good mood. I see there's someone being thrown up in the air in the corner, all winter carnival time, and that's sort of what it feels like. It's kind of reminiscent of sitting outside at Met Stadium late October, November, watching a football game this time of year. And they have this sort of celebration for baseball is still all the more remarkable.
It really is.